to minimize second chance opportunities.
We're just one sleep away from the tournament. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Bill Michaels Show. We are on the air. We are glad you are with us. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Hit us up on all the different platforms. For those of you following us on the Bud Light live stream, certainly appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter at Bill_Michaels. At Bill_Michaels. Follow us on Facebook, The Bill Michaels Show. You can find me on YouTube and on Twitch under simply The Bill Michaels. Email the same way, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Got to right off the bat say hi to Anthony, Kristen, and Mark in Madison listening to us on the Zone. They sent some pretty cool pictures yesterday. They were out and about as we were asking for the pictures, and Kristen said, too hammered to send them out yesterday. They sent them out first thing this morning. Apparently, they were doing a little imbibing around Madison, not necessarily out and about in downtown Madison, but went out. I had the green speckled masks on and the shamrock face masks and such. So good stuff. And thanks to everybody that sent pictures and such yesterday. I did get out a little bit. I went over to a place called Bullwinkle's, which, as a matter of fact, last week when we did the Chug Challenge on Friday, that was the glass that I used, the pint glass. So I stopped over there yesterday, and you know what? It was kind of disappointing. I expected it to be not crowded like normal, but, more people. There's probably 10, 15 people in there at 3:00 in the afternoon. And normally that's pretty jammed up. So I was just a little bit disappointed that it wasn't nearly as crowded as I thought it might be. But that's okay. You know what? Everybody's got their comfort levels, so there you have it. Good stuff. Man, we got a lot to get to today. A third person has now come out. According to TMZ, a third person has now come forward and said Deshaun Watson has done some naughty things. At first it was, you kind of believed him and you think, Deshaun Watson seems like a pretty good guy. And then the second one came out and you're kind of like, oh, boy, you started to read some of this stuff. Now the third one comes out, and this is, man, if this is Deshaun Watson, then Houston Texans should get rid of him. But the allegations against him are starting to pile up. A third female massage masseuse, has filed a lawsuit against the quarterback, claiming, for the record, he forced her to perform oral sex during a December encounter. Now, the woman who filed the suit under the pseudonym Jane Doe to protect her identity claims that Watson reached out on Instagram to set up the session. Let me stop right there. Deshaun Watson has massage guys at the facility. There is anything and everything you need. Anything and everything you need within the facility. And if not, they direct you where to go. The more you read this, the creepier it gets. The woman who filed the suit says that they agreed to set up an appointment at a Houston, Texas office building at 10 a.m. She claims she was newly engaged, had just graduated chiropractic school. Her mom drove her to the job. She met Watson, and that's when she claims things immediately got, quote, weird. The woman says Watson insisted she focus on massaging his inner thighs and inner glutes, so his down near the naughty bits on both the front and the back, we'll say. He repeatedly told her he's a professional football player. She claims then Watson got more aggressive, eventually coerced her to move. Now, how this coercion? To move her mouth towards his nether region, grabbing her by the neck and forcing her to perform oral sex on him. The woman claims she never consented and actually blacked out of sheer fear. In her suit, she claims that she was so terrified she had defecated, I should say, on herself. The woman says Watson got up, got dressed, and left as if nothing happened. The woman is suing for sexual assault, civil assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress. It's the third lawsuit now filed against Watson by a single attorney, Tony Busby, who claims that there are at least 3 other women who will be taking legal action as well. They all were approached in the same manner. What are you doing finding women on Instagram to rub you down? At first you thought, okay, this seems weird. Now, come on. Come on. Watson has not been arrested nor charged with a crime, and he has adamantly denied all wrongdoing, insisting Busby is just trying to score an unwarranted payday for the women. The 2 other lawsuits that have been previously filed against Watson contain similar allegations, with 2 massage therapists alleging sexual misconduct against the quarterback during massage sessions that were initiated over social media, and they have the records of. Again, at first, I'm kind of like, Deshaun Watson seems like a kind of a stand-up guy, and he wants to fight this. He says, bring it in court. Now, with 2 other people coming out and them having the social media, the Instagram and such posts that are initiated by him, my doubt is starting to wane. Doubt is starting to wane. I just, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't find a massage therapist on social media that way. Look, if I try to find a good massage therapist, I'll say to my friends, hey, anybody know a good one? And friends will get together and they'll say, well, I went here, or I went there. And then you call the place of business and you set up an appointment. You don't start agreeing to meet people in office buildings of offices that friends of yours rent or own or what have you. You don't. This is getting bad. A lot of the stories are similar, and this is just getting bad. Now, I'm not one to sit here right away and say, you know what? You're guilty until proven innocent, because I don't like that. But in this particular case, it's starting to really get cloudy. So if apparently he's approaching them on Instagram. So what is Deshaun Watson doing finding a massage therapist on Instagram? So a third one came out this morning, a third lawsuit filed. So I don't even know if ESPN's been reporting that. I know TMZ had it, but I have not seen the third allegation yet over on ESPN, but I'm sure it'll be there shortly if it's not there already. But yeah, just, God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Man, oh, man. So we got that to talk about. The Bucs make a trade. Now, look, it's not huge, but I like it. You know why? Because they're doing something. They're doing anything and everything they can to try to bolster this team right now. They know Joel Embiid is down. He may not come back normal for the remainder of the season. Who knows with that injury? The Brooklyn Nets have been so beat up. James Harden's kind of carrying that team right now. So they know they're going to need some additional help, and they went out and made a deal. The Bucs made a trade. They picked up the Houston Rockets forward PJ Tucker, trying to fortify their playoff push. The Bucs send guard DJ Augustine and forward DJ Wilson to the Rockets for Tucker and forward Karukas, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And the key to completing the deal includes redirecting of draft picks the two teams had previously traded in the offseason. Houston pushing back the 2022 first-round pick to Milwaukee that it owes them, and the unprotected 2023 draft choice. The Rockets get the right to swap their 2021 second-round pick for the Bucs' 2021 first-round pick, unless the Bucs pick somehow falls in the top 10. So essentially, the Bucs are going to be moving back a few slots from the end of the first round, and that they will presumably begin this season, to the top of the second round, where the Rockets, who own the second worst record in the league, are destined to land. And the Rockets also trading forward Torrey Craig to the Phoenix Suns in a separate deal. The Suns aren't sending a player back to the Bucks in the deal for Craig. Sources say Craig was unable to find a rotational role in Milwaukee after leaving the Denver Nuggets to sign a free agent deal in the offseason, but he arrives in Phoenix with some good defensive versatility and a playoff-tested pedigree. So anyway, the Bucks doing what they can to try to get themselves a little bit stronger. PJ Tucker, there you have it. Coming in, another big body, wide body coming into the system, and I like the deal. They're doing anything and everything they can. Doing anything and everything you can just to try to get better. And I like it. I like it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. By the way, I got a nice note here from my buddy Paul who says, hey, Bill, have you been out lately? Golf courses are opening, and some of the municipal golf courses are starting to open. I have seen that. There's a couple in my area that I drive past quite frequently, and they have been open at times. So I'm getting ready for it. Getting ready for golf season. Not today though. It's windy. Got up today, and I had just had. I was telling you yesterday I had new tires put on my car out at J&L Tire Service out in Johnson Creek, and I love those guys. But my car is a car in which the dealership has to set up for an alignment. So I took it over there today and dropped it off. So when it's about 2 miles away. So I thought, you know what? I normally get up and go to the gym. So I just threw on a heavier coat today. I thought, no big deal. I'll walk home. And I'm one that usually wears shorts when I go to the gym. But I thought today, I'll throw on a pair of sweatpants. I'll be good to go. Put on my big heavy. I got one of those ski jackets that's really insulated, doesn't let any wind through it. Thank God. Walking today, I thought I was going to take off. Holy mackerel. And there was black ice all over the place today. Coming home, I did a little bit of a jog, and coming home on some of the sidewalks, there was some ice on the sidewalks today. And a little bit on the streets for that matter, because my neighborhood doesn't have sidewalks. It's a kind of a quieter neighborhood, so we don't have sidewalks around here, and everybody just walks their dogs in the streets while I'm jogging home. And so people are out this morning walking the dogs, and I'm trying to kind of avoid the dogs a little bit, and you're hitting a little patch of ice here and there. You know, you feel your feet slide a little bit. So careful out there until the sun comes out and melts the ice. But yeah, it's brisk. I'm not playing golf today. It's a little breezy out. By the way, good luck to the Wisconsin women coming up tonight, taking on Ohio State. Frozen Four getting underway, 6 o'clock Central Time tonight for the Ice Hockey Championship. Looking forward to that. We've got play-in games tonight. The Brewers are back at it today. I'm excited about that. We got a lot going on. And then tomorrow, you got the tournament getting underway. And then Giannis is sitting down on the floor in Philadelphia, and he's being booed for it. And now you got to ask yourself, was it cocky? Did you not like it? Or was it Giannis being playful? Depends on your perspective. We're going to talk about that as well when we come back. We're doing a lot of good things today on this Thursday edition of the Bill Michaels Show. And we're not done yet, because coming up in about 45 minutes, Rob Reichel from Forbes.com covers the Green Bay Packers. He is going to join us. And he wrote, if you haven't seen it on the Facebook fan page yet, he wrote an interesting column called, "Did the Green Bay Packers just make Aaron Rodgers a lame duck quarterback?" How about that? We're loaded today. Got a lot of good stuff coming up on the Bill Michaels Show right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket, this is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will zoom in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Somebody blew up a building, somebody stole.
Welcome back. Glad you are with us. Bill Michaels Show. Hanging out. G-Dub says, nice view. We had the dog cam on. Elmo is pretty much passed out. Both dogs in here today, though. Both of the dogs hanging out today. Mickey's up here, too. It's a comfortable spot today. Pretty windy down there. You know what? I find that on the days that it really gets windy and you kind of hear the house creak a little bit, that's usually when they hang with me the tightest. I never know what's going on. What else do we got here for you? Jason, I think the Bucks are done making moves. Don't the Bucks need a backup point guard? They do. I just don't know what else they have to trade. You know what I mean? It'd be great to make a deal. You can say, let's go make a deal, but how do you make a deal when you don't have any pieces? You know, it's not like you have a ton of expiring contracts. I mean, I was really surprised they got the PJ Tucker deal done. DJ Augustine and DJ Wilson. I mean, it's not, but then again, the Rockets aren't going anywhere fast and they know it. They're just kind of biding their time until they can start replenishing that team. So they know what that is right now. The Rockets could have 3 first-round picks in the 2021 draft. Milwaukee's, Portland's, and either their own, which top 4 protected pick, or Miami's from Oklahoma City's 3-way swap. So they could end up with a whole boatload of these things. And Tucker's been a really good role player for them for the last 3.5 years. He averages about, just under 7 points a game and 5 boards or so, something like that. And he usually ends up on one. He's more of a defender, but he usually ends up on one of the opponent's top scorers. So I think this is a good deal for the Bucks. The Rockets thought they were closing in on a 2-year extension for Tucker. But the Houston front office balked after Tucker's camp countered with a proposal for a fully guaranteed 2-year deal. And he said he wanted $24 million. Now we'll see what actually happens if the Bucs end up going in that direction. To me, again, this is the Bucs. They got to figure a way to bring in additional talent around Giannis. I don't know if this team is there yet, but I'll tell you this. Last night, I'm watching that game, and they were down, 16 at one point? 16 or 18. And I'm going, holy God, do they look bad. And then the starters went out. Giannis was out. And suddenly it was the Pat Connaughton show, and the Bucs started playing really well. DiVincenzo starting hitting buckets from the outside. Those two guys, between the assists to one another, they were working really, really well together. Bucs started crashing the boards. Lopez hit a 3. And then they started to chip away at it. I think the lead was for Philadelphia was like 10 or 12. And then Giannis came back in. The starters were coming back in. And then it just kind of took off from there. They got a couple of big buckets. And I really thought the Bucs were going to win it in regulation. And Dante DiVincenzo took a chance trying to knock that pass down and trying to steal the ball on the inbounds. And then obviously Philadelphia hits the 3 to tie the game. And then the game goes into overtime and Giannis just took over. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670 if you want to come in and do it. Brett says going to Woodman's, doing a little shopping, and then over to Scholze Family Farms Beef in Humbird to get some food for the tournament. Good call. Good call. Like that. Chris says the first allegation, if you're just tuning us in, there's now been a third person to come forward in the Deshaun Watson ordeal. The first woman, he rubbed himself up against her. The second one apparently wanted to oil up his backside, we will say. Oil up the backside. And then the third one, he supposedly, allegedly forced oral sex upon. But again, I go back to, you are Deshaun Watson. You are one of the up-and-coming stars in the NFL. You have everything via the team at your disposal. Why are you finding women, female massage therapists on Instagram? It is so hard to say because it's like you can do something stupid. It doesn't make you a person of sexual assault. It doesn't make you a rapist. But when you do something stupid and put yourself in this situation, you look worse and worse and worse as time goes on and as more people come out and as the attorney states, they all have this on social media, him searching for these women. So you never want to say you're presumed guilty until you prove that you're innocent. But you just, it looks bad. The optics of this look worse and worse and worse by the day, by the moment. And now the attorney says they have 3 additional women that all have come forward to the same attorney. After the first woman came out, the others said, this happened to us too, which is usually what happens. This is when you get one woman that steps forward and all of a sudden you've got 20 that have said this has been a pattern that this guy started to do. And usually what happens is, one person will come out and allegedly or make the allegation, and you'll say, I deny this wholeheartedly. And then you'll get 10 more, and now it's hard to look at all 10 of them and go, you're all lying. If they're all individual women without a connection other than the attorney, otherwise, if they have no connection and if they have the social media to back it up, man, it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. The Lions look to be signing quarterback Tim Boyle. I'm just seeing that. David just sent me that over on Facebook. Gary, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, man. Just an FYI. Everything else seems to be fine, so you might want to restart over on YouTube. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This is from Durham Dave, who says, look out for my North Carolina Tar Heels. They seem to be rolling. The Wisconsinites are going to be a little bit sad, although I don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to go much farther than the first round. I'm not a big Deshaun Watson fan, but I do believe in innocence until proven guilty. Let's see what happens here before we convict the man. And do you think the Green Bay Packers, and then he's got in parentheses, a Packers fan here, will end up restructuring Aaron Rodgers' contract? I heard you talking about a lame duck quarterback. I find that hard to believe. Yeah, we're going to talk with Rob Reischel coming up after the top of the hour. He wrote the column in Forbes. If you didn't read it already, you can go to the Facebook fan page, simply The Bill Michaels Show, and take a look at it. It is an interesting read. It says the read itself is, did the Green Bay Packers just make Aaron Rodgers a lame duck quarterback? The Packers restructuring 6 contracts. They released 2 fringe starters and watched their Pro Bowl center Corey Linsley leave in free agency, though, so they could get to the NFL salary cap of $182.5 million by Wednesday afternoon. Amidst all the wheeling and dealing, Green Bay did not gain 1 cent of salary cap relief from their highest paid employee, Aaron Rodgers. Certainly enhances the odds that Rodgers will be playing his final year in Green Bay in 2021. They could have freed up a lot of money by extending him, one NFL executive had said. Either they didn't want to go down that road or he turned them down. And it goes on from there. We've been waiting. I've been saying this. We've been waiting for the white paper smoke to come out of 1265. It has not happened. They're not far enough under right now to even sign rookies. So you would assume something is going to happen. But I keep telling myself, don't get pissed off. Don't get pissed off right now. Just wait. See what happens. Let's let this play out. They have to come up with some additional salary cap space. You're probably going to get some more on June 1st when you make some cuts. The June 1st cuts, they can give you anywhere from $5 to $10 million. That's enough to get your rookies in. But are you done dealing right now? Are you done? Because if you don't do anything else, you don't have any additional space right now. You don't have any additional room right now to go and sign any type of free agent. We can sit here and watch all the free agent signings go by the wayside. But the Packers, they don't have a lot of room. They got $3.9 million according to Sport Track, 2.8 according to Over the Cap. So now you just wait and see. $877. Well, now the Packers are actually 3.6 over the cap, which is not true according to Over the Cap. I guess if you have incoming contracts that have not been filed yet, you can say that. But nevertheless, they say 3.6 over. So, but it looks like they're 3.6 under the cap. But you got to wait. You got to wait. You got to wait and find out what they're going to do. I'm stunned. I'm holding back anger, man. I got a lot of it. I got it all pent up right here because I thought for sure the Packers would have restructured Aaron Rodgers' deal. Because my question is, if not, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you not looking at this going, you know what? The timing was bad. We shouldn't have done this. Because if you don't, oh my God, and think of this, okay? Between you, me, and the fence post, think of this. If they don't, and they do say next year, Aaron, you're out the door, man. We're going to let you go. Okay? Let's say they do that. and Jordan Love is not the guy, oh my God. Oh my God. Will 2022 be an absolute bloodbath? It will be one of the worst miscalculations probably in Packers history, probably since taking Tony Mandrich. And before that, I have no idea. It will be one of the worst calculations in Packers history. So you better hope that if this plays out the way it's being insinuated is playing out, that it turns out to be on the positive side and Jordan Love's a real deal. Otherwise, oh my goodness. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show continues on the Big and Bill Michaels. We are glad you are with us today. How you feeling? You a little hungover today after yesterday's St. Patrick's Day? Yesterday St. Patrick's Day wasn't the same, was it? It was better than last year. Last year we were locked down, remember. That's when that was the date of the lockdown. They said, hey, we're going to close things down. We're gonna pick a day randomly. We're going to pick a day that we're going to go ahead and shut it all down just to prevent the spread of corona. And, oh, by the way, it's going to be St. Patrick's Day, which got everybody up in arms. And then, obviously, it hit. And now we're less than 400 positive cases a day. So that's tremendous. Tremendous. You know what's really weird? I was looking... Now, if I'm correct in this, if I'm wrong and there's a mathematician out there or somebody that does census for a living, please correct me. But we only have about 5 million people in the state of Wisconsin. Okay? Are you with me so far? So we do the math. 5 million people. They say 2 million have been given the virus or the vaccine. And then they say, yeah, only 20% of 5 million of 19%, and then it goes back to 13. And I was trying to do the math this morning when I was watching the news. Now, is that people that have been given the first shot versus both shots? And so it was kind of confusing. So, because if we have 2 million people vaccinated out of a state of 5 million, how does that only equal 20%? Because another 500,000, you're creeping up on 50%. Somebody's not checking the math. Just wanted to find that out because I didn't quite understand it. But the good news is between the people that have had it, those that have been vaccinated, and those that are getting vaccinated, we're motoring right along. So I'm hoping come June, like I had said yesterday, a person that I know extremely well, that works within the state government, who is encouraging certain entities to open up because they need to. So I'm hoping by June things are back up and running. But yeah, I didn't quite understand the math. So if there's something I'm missing here, please, because I don't even pretend to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. So please, if you have the answer to all of that, let me know. I would love to figure out the new math. It's been a while since I sat in a math class, but I know one thing. 2 million opposed to 5 million, 2 million out of 5 million does not necessarily equal 20%. Unless we got more people in this state. Well, if that's the case, then this network is reaching far more people than we ever thought. So we're bigger and better than we ever thought we were. I'll throw that as a feather in my cap. I'll take credit for anything, though. So you know that. Love it. Dave says talk sports. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Did I offend you by mentioning something other than sports? Oh, God. I cannot stand those people. Talk sports only. You can't talk sports. You got to talk only sports. Stop. Dean says 5.8 million people in the state of Wisconsin. Really? That's awesome. The state continues to grow, but I think we got like 1 million people from Illinois not that long ago, because Illinois is a train wreck, and they're moving north. They're moving north in droves. God knows it's, between Door County and Lake Geneva, it's just merely an annex of Illinois. So there you go. Kevin says June 1st, let's just reopen. How are we looking? He's got a wedding on July 4th. You mean you're not going to the NASCAR races, Kevin? NASCAR, the big series, comes ripping through Road America. Ripping through Road America on July 4th. I cannot wait. Steve says, make a mistake getting rid of Tim Boyle. Wouldn't be surprised to see him starting by mid-season. Goff is another professional scouting blunder. There you go. Kinger says, hey, I have a Tony Mandrich football card. Do you think it's worth anything? Only if you run out of toilet paper. My buddy Dwayne. Is it just me? I'm going to ask you a guy thing. For all the ladies listening, maybe you know what I'm talking about if you got a goofy boyfriend or a goofy husband. Speaking of the Deshaun Watson thing, which is probably not appropriate, but I'm going to mention it anyway. I am 54 years old. I got a friend of mine who lives in Cincinnati, Ohio, and him and I text sports all the time. All the time. Okay? So we're talking about yesterday, we're going back and forth on deals that are getting done and where players are going. And did you see this? Did you see this? Did you hear this? And he was the one that alerted me to the rumors coming out of Cincinnati about A.J. Green gaining some interest from the Packers, and he ultimately ends up signing in Arizona. So as the flurry of deals are getting done and people are getting cut, and so anyway, I'm watching the game last night. I'm watching the Bucks last night, and that Wendy's commercial comes on. Bag alert, major bag alert, and it takes you back to when you were a kid. All right, just stupid, goofy things. It's like passing gas. Guys laugh, and guys laugh about crotch jokes. They just do. I don't know why. We do. Okay. Women don't. Women are just on a different mental level. They have a different, I'm not going to say a different level of class, because I work in a bar. I owned a bar. And on Thursday night, ladies' night, it was as raw could be at times. Okay. And it made me blush. And I've heard everything. Okay. So that commercial comes on, and every time it comes on, I get the dying laughing face texted to me by like 3 guys that I know. I don't know. But it just cracks you up. I don't know why it does. I guess because you never wanted to get kicked there. That's for sure. So, it is what it is. Guys, do you laugh? Do you get stupid like that? Because some guys are just stupid like that. Some others, they're above that. And I applaud you. I applaud you for being above that. I really do. Because me, I still giggle. Jason says, are you only on Facebook Live, or can I tune in somewhere listening down in Racine? In Racine, yeah, it's just a live stream. You can certainly go to madcitysportzone.com. That's madcitysportzone.com. Listen live link. You can do that. You can listen live to the actual over-the-air stream. So there you go. Yeah. Kevin says, by the way, love NASCAR, although it's fallen off a bit. It has. Since you've seen some of the stars kind of decide to call it a career, they've changed some cars. Really, you go back to the height of NASCAR, early 2000s, late 1990s, it was flying as high could get. Obviously, the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. Really tamped things down. But then they got somewhat politically correct, and then it got to be kind of it wasn't a good old boy sport anymore. It got to be a rich man sport. Some of these drivers weren't even drivers from the South. They were these go-karters as kids, and they just had a lot of money. And then suddenly they were driving cars. And you weren't seeing these guys really fight. You know, you didn't see the Cale Yarboroughs get out there and start swinging helmets and throwing punches and then drinking beer afterwards. You know what I mean? You didn't see that. These guys were like that little kind of slappy stuff. It was just kind of a different era that was launched in the early to mid 2000s. And NASCAR, and then some took offense to the addition of Toyota into the series. A foreign-made car, because it was always Chevys, Dodges, and Fords. And then when Toyota got in, some looked at that as the decline, and then some of the stars went over to Toyota, and that, you know, took away from it, from the, quote, American-made product, and it just had its own issues. And then you started to see more and more and more stars, big names, retire. And quite frankly, some of the people that have been coming up through the system have been somewhat unlikable. And I'll be honest with you, NASCAR got arrogant. I mean, arrogant. It used to be you could get a driver walking through the pits, signing autographs, taking pictures, how you doing, drinking a beer, and then they got arrogant. They were like rock stars, don't get me wrong, but the arrogance of the grassroots, the fans are what really paid the bills. And then they just got above the fans. And now they're trying to get everybody back. They're trying to kind of wrap their arms back around you again. But NASCAR is, I like IndyCar because IndyCar, even though they're somewhat arrogant, there's a lot of foreign drivers in IndyCar. They're willing to do almost anything to be fan friendly or to be media friendly and to get out there and to get their name out there and their stories out there. NASCAR is a pain in the ass. It really is. It's hard to work with NASCAR. Drivers don't want to get up before 10 or 11 in the morning unless it's a race day. They don't want to do any interviews. They don't want to go to meet and greets with fans. They jet all over the place. They don't, it's just a different breed. So anyway, it's not that people have a disdain for NASCAR becoming progressive. It's the attitude that is, look, the bottom line is this: perception becomes reality. In many people's minds, perception is what they believe. Whether you like it or not, and whether you are that or not, perception is, if you're thought of as an ass, you're an ass. People don't like you, no matter what you do. So you have to fight 3 times as hard to knock that image down. And instead of doing that, they're like, who cares? And that's just not good. And the rule changes didn't help either. The point system, it's weird and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's do this. We'll step away, take a quick break. Come back. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will remain 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We're back. Glad to have you. Coming up after the top of the hour, Rob Reichel is going to be joining us, and we're going to talk some Packers. He had written an article in Forbes. If you haven't read it already, go to the Facebook fan page, simply facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show, and you can see it there. He basically said, look, if they don't restructure Aaron Rodgers' contract, are you setting Aaron Rodgers up as a lame duck quarterback for the season? An interesting statement. So that is coming up here in about 5 to 7 minutes. Stay tuned for that. And it's a really interesting read, but we're going to talk more about it and get his thoughts. And by not extending Rodgers right now and lowering his cap number this year, the Packers have kept open the real possibility of moving on from him after this upcoming season. So we're going to discuss that coming up here in just a little bit. So it's going to be an interesting listen, by all means. And Rob's got sometimes some differing opinions than what the general populace seems to be. So I'm looking forward to this. Nick, our buddy Nick, hits us up over there on Twitter and says, "Hey Bill, there's a lot of non-a-hole drivers in NASCAR, and many, similar to other pro sports, have foundations that support charities. Hope to see you at Road America this July. Should be a blast." Nick, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. We're going to be there. The show's going to be there. As a matter of fact, the show is going to be on site. We got some good stuff coming up with NASCAR. I can't let the cat out of the bag. I want to so bad. We've been in negotiations with Road America. We've been in negotiations with IndyCar and NASCAR and all that kind of stuff, talking about those events with Road America. And we got some cool stuff that we're trying to put together, and it's on the horizon. And I want to tell you, it's right there, and it's exciting, and it's fun, and it's new, and doing this network with our parent company, Midwest Family Broadcasting, and Bill Michaels Incorporated. In this conjunction with it's good. I can't announce it yet. Got a lot of good stuff coming up, though. There's a lot of good things coming up. You're going to be a little surprised. This year, this has been, since stepping away and then taking a little bit of time off and then coming back and then doing it under the company and having this different level of ability, much like broadcasting, here in the new studio, if you will, and in the house, and having all of this ability and all this different stuff. It's not only liberating, it is so engaging and energizing. And there's so many cool things. And I'm working harder now than I think I've worked, in 15 years. But it's all really fun stuff. So, and it's all stuff for you and I to become re-engaged again, to be able to get out there and do things. So I'm I can't announce it yet. I want to. Hey, speaking of announcing things, coming up the next hour, we have a new sponsor that is an old sponsor, and they're back. And they've got great stuff. This is another good thing. Oh, God, this is another good thing. If you love wine, you love cheese, or maybe you love somebody who does, think about this, guys. Head to the Four Seasons Island Resort this weekend. They have limited space available, but because they have availability, they're discounting stuff. If you're thinking about getting away, let's just say it's going to be a little bit warmer, it's going to be nicer. If you want to reserve a seat for this, and I'll tell you more about this in the next hour, email our girl Barb, B-A-R-B, Barb, at the4seasonswi.com. That is Barb at the4seasonswi.com. Just tell her Bill Michaels sent you, and you want more details on the cheese and wine event coming up this weekend. If you're not looking, look, you probably don't have much going on. We're not into baseball yet. Maybe March Madness. By the way, they've got two different sports bars there. They got TVs everywhere, so you're not going to miss anything. But if you want to go up, you want to have a little cheese, a little wine, hang out outside. Now that the snow's melted, you can see the golf course up there on the island. Good stuff. Email Barb, B-A-R-B, at the4seasonswi.com. The4, F-O-U-R, seasons, the4seasonswi.com. And reserve your seat. Or get your significant other to reserve the seat. Or send the girls away. Send your significant others away. Say, hey, you know what? Go do the cheese and wine event. You're on the island. Go have a great time. They have spas and everything up there. I'm going to sit back and watch the tournament. I'm going to eat Thin Mints, drink beers, whatever, bourbons, cigars, you name it. But there's some good stuff coming up. I'll tell you more about it coming up in the next hour. As a matter of fact, for those of you over on the live stream, I'm going to show you right now coming up the Four Seasons. Okay? So that's coming up too. Hang in there. Coming up next, Rob Reichel. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Is he a lame duck quarterback? More right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, with cuts and pushing money to the future as well as restructures, the Green Bay Packers were able to get under the cap, with the latest coming from a restructuring of Zadarius Smith's contract. The linebacker had his $5 million roster bonus and $9.76 million of his base salary for 2021 converted into a signing bonus, and that created $7.38 million in cap space for Green Bay. To the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks would get their fifth straight victory. Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 20 of his game-high 32 points in the final period and overtime as the Deer would beat the Philadelphia 76ers 109-105 in Philly. Yesterday also saw Milwaukee at a veteran piece in its effort to compete for an NBA title as the Bucks acquired forward PJ Tucker, also forward Rodion Skuruks, and a 2022 first-round pick for guard DJ Augustine, forward DJ Wilson, and a 2023 first-round pick from the Deer.
So your current job isn't working out so well? Maybe you'd like a career. Skilled trade like plumbing, electrical, or HVAC? You can be in demand more than graduate all the debt. To get your career started, go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin. Start today.
As the 9th-seeded Wisconsin Badger basketball team studies their opponent, the 8th-seed North Carolina Tar Heels, for March Madness tomorrow at 6:30, Greg Gard says there's a lot of similarities between UNC and the Big Ten.
There's some similar tendencies and traits to teams we see in our league as well, in terms of transition, making sure we're getting guys back, making sure we're getting our defense set, and obviously the ability to minimize second chance opportunities.
We're just one sleep away from the tournament. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Hour number 2 of the Bill Michaels Show. Good day. Good day to those of you joining us on the network, all throughout the great state, well beyond as well, and we certainly appreciate you taking a listen to us. To all of you following us over on the Bud Light live stream, it is up and running, and it's just now coming off of my dog Mickey, who's actually laying over in the corner over there. If you want to get a hold of us there on the Bud Light live stream, you can follow us on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find us on Facebook. Facebook is simply The Bill Michaels Show. YouTube and Twitch is The Bill Michaels, Michaels, and then over on email, the same thing, at gmail.com. And joining us now on the hotline is our good buddy Rob Reichel. And Rob, you wrote an interesting column. I started getting into this just a little bit earlier today, but in the flurry of moves that have taken place, the Packers have not touched the contract of one Aaron Rodgers. So give me your thoughts on all of this first and foremost, pal.
Well, Billy, I mean, it's kind of fascinating. When it's all said and done, the Packers have cut about $24 million off their cap from where it was when the season ended. And they went to 6 different guys to do it, Billy. They went to Bakhtiari, to the 2 Smiths, Za'Darius and Preston. They went to Billy Turner, Adrian Amos, and Devin Funchess. They did not go to the quarterback for any cap relief. And I find that really interesting, Bill, because clearly that could have been a starting point. I mean, they had to get rid of about $24 million, Bill. Had they gone to Rodgers right out of the chute, they would have gotten about $15 million of that taken care of right up front. You know, that's about 63% of it right away. Now, Bill, what I don't know is if they went to Rodgers and he said no, or they didn't go to him at all. But at the end of the day, what we're left with now is the Packers have unbelievable financial flexibility and freedom to end the Aaron Rodgers contract if they want after the 2021 season. If they're enamored with Jordan Love this summer, Bill, and want to go the route of chasing a championship with a young quarterback on the cheap, like Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes and Seattle did with Russell Wilson, they will certainly have that option financially, Bill. They are not going to be tied to Rodgers deep down the road. They didn't kick the money, down the street with Rodgers. They will have very easy salary cap out after the 2021 and the 2022 season, Bill, if they want to get away from Rodgers. If they don't, Bill, if he comes back and he's the MVP again, or in the top 5 and has another career year or a year where he throws 40-plus touchdowns, I mean, good for them. It's a win-win. But what they've done here at the end of the day is they've left the door wide open in terms of their options at quarterback to either bring Aaron Rodgers back after this or move on from him, Bill, without a whole lot of damage being done to the salary cap.
So I guess my question to you is if you've heard the same thing I've heard, and that is that Jordan Love's pretty raw. It's not like he went in there and all of a sudden they looked at him and went, wow, and he set the world on fire, and he was looking in the rearview mirror. Aaron Rodgers was looking in the rearview mirror going, boy, I better play better or Jordan Love's going to take my job. I think it's kind of far from it. So why would you be so quick to say, you know what, we just have to move on from Aaron Rodgers? You know what I mean?
Well, if you're the Packers, again, Bill, what you've done is you've left yourself the option, right? You're not tied into Rodgers long term. Don't forget, I mean, this guy's had 2 major injuries since 2013, both collarbones. The first one on his non-throwing shoulder in 13, the second one on his throwing shoulder in 17. Now, he's still an elite player. He's one of the 5 best players in the league. He's one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, you can make the case he's the best player in the league, certainly if you wanted to. But Bill, I'm going to, I don't think I'm in the minority here, Bill, but I'm going to give Jordan Love a pass on last year. And I'm with you. I watched him a handful of days in practice at the start of the year during training camp, and he wasn't particularly good. And clearly Tim Boyle was a better option to go with as the number 2 quarterback. But, Bill, let's not forget. I mean, the kid is drafted in late April. They have almost no offseason whatsoever. It's just Zoom meetings. They're not together in person. There's no preseason games whatsoever for him to grow and get better at. And now you're into the regular season where on a normal Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Aaron Rodgers is gobbling up 90% of the snaps in practice, and now Tim Boyle is getting, 5% and Jordan Love is getting 5%. It's really tough to evaluate him. Bill, I remember, I was at practice every single day in the summer of 5 and 6, 2005 and 6, and Aaron Rodgers was not good, Bill. I mean, he wasn't good whatsoever. I don't think anybody could have forecast 3 MVPs in a Super Bowl were coming from this particular guy. I remember in the summer of 05, I talked to a number of scouts, Bill, who thought Rodgers was going to be a dud when it was all said and done. They had 20 drives, Bill, 20 possessions that preseason with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and they scored one time, 5% of the time when he took the field with the offense in the summer of 5. That they found a way to score the football. I mean, that's just dreadful. So my point with all that is these young quarterbacks do need time. Jordan Love was really dealt a lousy hand last year. This is a huge year for him, Bill. I mean, if he comes back this summer and he's not any better or he's not particularly good and he struggles in these preseason games, then, good for Green Bay. They still have Aaron Rodgers under contract for 2 more years. If Jordan Love is terrific, if, somehow he's the second coming of a Deshaun Watson or something like that, then, Billy, all of a sudden the Packers have unbelievable, flexibility in these options to go really cheap at the quarterback position, load up at some of these other spots, and then chase the Super Bowl like a lot of teams have done the last decade or so when they have a quarterback on a rookie deal and they can really beef up some of these other positions. So by not doing Rodgers, Bill, at the end of the day, by not restructuring, or extending that contract, what Green Bay has really done is left the door open to do anything they want to do after the 2021 season ends.
Talking with Rob Reichel of Forbes, covers the Green Bay Packers. So do you think, because obviously, everybody's waiting for them to sign at least a veteran corner, maybe additional front defensive help up front, they don't have the money. So all these different deals that we're watching go down right now we know that June 1st are going to come around, and I'm sure that the Packers are probably going to have 1 or 2 of their own to free up a little bit of money, but they still don't even have enough money to go out and sign their rookies at this point. So what else do you feel is in the future for the Packers?
Yeah, that's a great question. And obviously, they could still redo Rodgers here, Bill. I mean, they could extend him or, restructure that contract at some point and free up $10 million, $12, $15 million if there's a free agent or 2 on the street they like. And there are going to be a lot of really outstanding football players on the street here over the next 3-4 weeks still, Bill. That first wave of free agency hit. A lot of these teams have burned through all their money now. And you see still a lot of terrific players on the street. Maybe Brian Gutekunst says, that there's that corner or that center or that inside linebacker, that he thinks they need, and he goes and he gets that done. And to do that, Bill, he still restructures Rodgers. I'm just guessing, though, Bill, that won't happen because if it was going to happen, odds are it would have happened by now because that to me would have been a starting point, not an ending point. There's clearly still other moves on the roster they could make, Bill. They could cut a Dean Lowry and pick up $4.5 million. They could ask Mason Crosby to restructure that contract. He's getting paid extremely well as a kicker, and justifiably so. He didn't miss a field goal last year. But my point, Bill, is if there's a will, there's a way. Just look at the Kansas City Chiefs the last year or two as they've kept all their key cogs and, for the most part, all their main players on that roster. If Gutekunst is really enamored with somebody out there, he'll find a way to tinker and toy and get it done. I mean, he redid Bakhtiari's contract at the end of the season, Bill, and then a month or 2 later, he restructured it, and they picked up $8 million of cap room, right? So there's always a way for Gutekunst and Russ Ball and the decision makers over there to get it done. I'm just guessing at this point, Bill, it's probably not a path through the Aaron Rodgers contract to free up that money.
Do you think they part ways with Aaron Rodgers at the end of the season?
I'm going to guess no, Bill, but I will. So what are we now? We're in March of 2021. I think Rodgers plays 2 more seasons in Green Bay, and then Jordan Love takes over in his 4th year in the league. Bill, rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks taken in the first round just don't sit anymore. They don't sit for very long. The last quarterback taken in round 1 that sat for 3 years before he became a starter was Aaron Rodgers himself back in 2005. Every round 1 quarterback since Rodgers back in 2005 has been on the field before year 3. So, you think of that, Bill. that so many of these GMs love to get that young quarterback on the cheap for $4 or $5 million instead of the 40 or so that Rodgers will make this year, and then they can beef up other positions and chase a championship that way. Brian Gutekunst wouldn't have traded up in round one if he didn't love this kid and want to see him on the field sooner than later. The only question now becomes when. And I know Packer Nation needs to hear that, Bill, that they love this guy, and rightfully so. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's probably one of the 10 or 12 best quarterbacks ever. He's got 3 MVPs. But at some point in time, Gutekunst is going to turn this thing over to Love and see what he has there. Every general manager wants to see their own guy and is enamored with their own guy and wants to see how it all works out. Will it blow up in his face? Or will he get another 10 years of quarterback play in Green Bay? We're all anxious, I think, to find that out. But the way it's structured now, Bill, if they cut Rodgers after 2021, the salary cap hits about 17. If they cut him after 2022, that salary cap hit is only $3 million. So that's a pretty dramatic difference. Now the cap's going to jump 25 or 30 million, I think, next year, Bill. So no matter what the hit would be on Rodgers, they could withstand that kind of blow. But if you do it 2 years down the road, the blow is almost nothing. You're probably back in terrific salary cap shape, and then you can move forward and kind of I don't want to say rebuild, but retool the whole thing with Jordan Love, and then kind of start that era. So my best guess, Bill, is that Rodgers is still around for 2 more years. But again, you never know. Nobody knows what Gutekunst is thinking. Bill, a month ago, I thought it was a no-brainer. They were going to go and restructure the Rodgers contract, and the fact they didn't do it, I think, has a lot of us scratching our heads now.
Talking with our buddy Rob Reichel, Forbes.com, covering the Green Bay Packers. Do you? Because we know Brady spoke out and said, "Look, I didn't want to raise. I just want the band back together." He's been active on Twitter. We have seen the same thing from other quarterbacks. We have not heard anything from Aaron Rodgers. Do you think that's because there's something going on behind the scenes? Or, I mean, I look at it this way. If Rodgers doesn't restructure, I don't know where to lay the blame because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and we won't know until Aaron Rodgers speaks out. But what we do know is that Gutekunst talked at the end of season press conference when he did the stuff going to the combine, basically saying, yeah, we talked to Aaron about restructuring his deal after the season ended. So, but that's all we've heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bill, it's kind of like at a press conference, right? When they tell you they love a guy and then he's on the field for 3 snaps the following Sunday.
Right.
Don't believe these guys when they get in front of a podium, because they're going to say whatever they can to create the least amount of friction and waves. I mean, if everything was copacetic and hunky dory in the Green Bay Packer management / Aaron Rodgers relationship, you probably wouldn't have seen Jordan Love picked at 26. You probably wouldn't have seen the Packers trade up to do that in last year's draft. You probably wouldn't have seen Green Bay draft really for 2-3 years down the road. They would have gotten Rodgers immediate help coming off a trip to the NFC Championship game in 2019 when they lost to San Francisco. So, I'm always reluctant, Bill, to believe what they tell you at a press conference. I'm not saying they didn't talk or didn't begin those negotiations whatsoever, but for whatever reason, they didn't get very far or they failed. And now they're sitting, both sides really are sitting in a position where, Rodgers could easily say after next year he wants to move on. The Packers could easily say after next year they want to move on, and they could go in their own, separate direction. Now, again, my better guess is it's a 2-year deal, that 2 years down the road is where it's 20. But again, just the fact neither side has done anything in terms of restructuring that deal. And again, you're right. Rodgers has been quiet. A guy like Brady has taken one for the team now for the better part of 15 years, where he's been underpaid in New England, and now he'll be underpaid in Tampa Bay. And Aaron Rodgers has never really taken that approach in terms of giving the Packers any kind of deal on his contract so they can go out and add other pieces to the puzzle. So, yeah, Bill, I think they're on about the 17th hole here, and we'll see, exactly how this round finishes up. But there's no question it's nearing the end.
Before I let you go, I just wanted to ask one more thing, because I've been a big proponent of saying, look, if you have a Hall of Famer in your stable, and I went through the Super Bowl winners from almost beginning to end. And you look at all of these teams, and all of the over 90% of the teams that have won a Super Bowl have had it with a Hall of Fame quarterback, or one that is about to become one, in the sense of either Aaron Rodgers or, say, a guy like an ascending Patrick Mahomes. So to me, while you have a Hall of Famer in your stable, a bona fide, he's a Hall of Famer in your stable, you go for it. How can the Packers front office look fans in the eyes and say we're doing everything we can when your Hall of Famer's in the stable and you're not really going for it? You're just, all you're doing is extending things to very slowly bring him into an end.
Well, in terms of 2021, Bill, I guess I'd disagree with you slightly in terms of going for it. I mean, when we looked at their free agent class right at this time last year, and we circled Bakhtiari, Kenny Clark, Aaron Jones, Corey Linsley, Kevin King, right, as the 5, let's say, primary free agents. You could make a case, Bill, that had they all hit free agency, Bakhtiari, Jones, and Clark were all going to be the best players at their position, right? And they brought all 3 of them back. Lindsey's the best center on the market. You can't pay everybody in he's gone, and they're going to let Kevin King walk, and you could make the case that'll wind up being addition by subtraction when that one's all said and done. I do think they're going for it here, Bill, in 2021, largely by keeping the band together, right? That was a 13-3 football team that was the number 1 seed, that had home field advantage, that just played an absolute clunker against Tampa Bay. They're going to bring back 10 starters on offense and 9 on defense. That in today's NFL, when you're bringing back 19 to 22 people, that's pretty good. The tricky part, Bill, is when you look south down to Tampa Bay, they're going to be even better than they were this particular season. Year 2 for Brady and Arians. They're bringing back all their key pieces. They'll still add a few pieces because that's just what they do. They'll find the next Leonard Fournette or the next Rob Gronkowski. The Packers usually don't do that kind of thing. So, Bill, I do think for the most part they're going for it here again one more time in 2021. They kicked $25 million, down the street in terms of some of the salary cap hit they're going to have to suck in, down the road from Bakhtiari and the Smiths primarily. So, I think they're giving Aaron Rodgers one last chance and one last run at it. But Bill, at the same point in time, there has to be frustration inside that building too, that they've been to 5 NFC championships with this quarterback, and they're 1-4 in those games. And really, for the most part, he has not been very good in those football games. And I'm sure that eats at Gutekunst. I'm sure it ate at Ted Thompson. I'm sure it eats at Matt LaFleur. They need the quarterback to be better in those particular games. He was a big reason they fell behind 28-10. In that championship game against Tampa Bay, and you could make the case that was the best of the 5 NFC championship games he's ever had, because his first 4 weren't very good either. And I'm sure at some point in time they say, all right, we've seen this Aaron Rodgers movie, we kind of know how it ends. Let's see what the next movie looks like. I'm with you, Bill, that you need a Hall of Fame quarterback to win a Super Bowl. The Brad Johnsons and Trent Dilfers of the world don't come around very long and win, or very often, and win championships. But again, I think this decision is all going to come down, Bill, to what they see in the next 12 months out of Jordan Love. What kind of summer does he have? What kind of offseason does he have? If Rodgers gets dinged, does he have to play 2 or 3 games? What do those games look like? And we'll have a far greater picture in terms of how this all looks, probably 10, 11 months from now, Billy.
Great stuff as always, Rob. I appreciate it. I could talk forever, man. But what else you got coming up? Anything else over at Forbes.com?
Well, this never ends, Bill. I'm assuming there's going to be far more free agency movement here, even with the Packers signing second-tier guys. But I'm going to have something up in the morning, Bill. Just, we're through this initial wave of free agency now, and Green Bay, to me, it actually looks stronger inside the division than they even have the last 2 years. And they've run away with the division now the last couple of years. But with Detroit almost throwing in the towel, I'm not sure what Minnesota's doing, and Chicago still having all sorts of quarterback issues, Bill. You could make the case Green Bay is going to win this division by 4 or 5 games again in 2021.
Good stuff as always, Rob. We will talk soon, okay?
All right, Bill. Have a great day. Thanks.
Appreciate it, pal. There you go. So some interesting stuff from Rob Reichel. I look at the 5 NFC championship games, and I think 2014, they should have won that game. They made their own mistakes, including, at times Rodgers, but more so taking the foot off the gas with the third quarter play calling and all the mistakes. This past year, yeah, he had some mistakes, no doubt about it. But the other years, clearly, they shouldn't even either have been there, and they were there because of Rodgers, or they got there and they just didn't have the defense around Rodgers. And I keep thinking of this team going, is this a defense you fear? And my answer consistently is no, it's not. Every year we talk about needing a defense. You need something different. Now, you get to screen. You know what? We're way late for a break. I'll talk more about this when we come back. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. A couple of different things. We've got more details now that are starting to come out about what went on with Deshaun Watson. A more detailed report, according to the Washington Post, we'll get into coming up here momentarily. But I wanted to get back to what our buddy Rob Reichel from Forbes had to say about the 5 NFC championship games that Aaron Rodgers has been to, winning one of them, going on to win a Super Bowl. And I know Gary is like, yes, get rid of Rodgers, get rid of Rodgers. Okay, then what? For those that want to get rid of him, then what? Then you hope that Jordan Love's a real deal? I mean, if you had to answer my question, what gives you a better shot at winning a championship in the next 3 years, what is it? Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers? Because once you get rid of Rodgers, that's it. Jordan Love, you had better hit on Jordan Love, or you've got a long time of anonymity when it comes to ever sniffing either the postseason or a Super Bowl again. So for those that are ready to run him out of town, my question is why? Nobody explains that. Want to get cap relief? Well, for what? You're going to build a great defense around what you hope to be a better than adequate quarterback. So you want to just start over. You're ready to start over, but I don't understand why you're ready to start over. If you believe that Jordan Love's the real deal, but you have to believe that. Otherwise, get another quarterback down the road. Get another quarterback in 3 years. That's what I don't understand, is why you're so quick to push him out. And I agree. Look, I think they should have 2 more NFC championships. We all know what happened in 2014. 2014 was not a great game, but they had so many mistakes in that game. That's just the way it was. And this past year, yeah, Aaron Rodgers threw a pick. He threw to Devontae Adams 3 straight times. Should have done it maybe once, twice, tops. Should have hit Alan Lazard, should have ran for it. But, and the offense didn't move the football in the opportunities they had when they did get the ball back. They only got 3 points out of 3 turnovers. So that I agree with. But the NFC Championship game down in Atlanta, they had no business being there. They got there because of Rodgers. They got their ass kicked. They didn't have a defense to stop them, and they got their ass kicked. New York, took them too long to adjust. Defensively, they just weren't as good. They just, in these cases, the majority of time, it's a bad decision defensively or a bad defense or a defense that didn't have enough capability to sustain. That's what I don't understand. People were screaming, it's all because of Mike Pettin. It's all because of Dom Capers. And now all of a sudden, no, it's because Aaron Rodgers. You got to get rid of him. Does just a loss piss you off to the point that you just want to get rid of everybody and start over all the time? This is the reason fans don't run teams. But you kick that can down the road and say, go ahead, get out of here, Aaron Rodgers. We're going to move on with Jordan Love. For a virtual unknown, you're trading away the known commodity for the unknown. Like I said, unless you know Jordan Love is the guy, I think you're making a huge mistake. Let's go to Ted listening to us in Sparta. Ted, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Hi, Bill. That's Tim, not Ted.
Oh, I'm
sorry.
Okay. Okay, what's up?
That's okay. I've been a Green Bay Packer fan for better than 55 years, and Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of the football, bar none, that I have ever seen in my life. They would have been in the Super Bowl outside of 2 plays in the championship game. One was on defense, and one obviously was coming away with 3 points instead of 7 at any of the times that they were down there.
Right.
I have watched, I got a buddy who's one of these people that can get video from everywhere. He sent me all the video on Love in his college career. All to just his play. And I'm sorry, you can mark it down right now. This guy is going to be one of those guys that has a great arm, but unless you give him excellent protection and great receivers, he makes bad decisions in his entire college career. To say that we're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers to this guy is the height of stupidity. Just the height of stupidity. Has Rodgers done some wrong things? Yeah. But they should never have bet. They never should have lost the Seattle championship game. That was not Rodgers' fault.
Right.
He is always, outside of the 1 year that they won the Super Bowl, what has he lacked? year in and year out.
Defense.
You drug that team to the championship game. They have always lacked a defense to go along with it. And I am so tired. What do we do on defense here? We re-sign or restructure a contract on a guy who can't get it done anymore, and yet we have somebody waiting in the wings who can. I mean, Gary came on last year like gangbusters.
Yeah.
We need another big fat guy on the line who can stuff the run, along with one of the great linemen that we currently have, which is Kenny Clark. You do that, and you pick up somebody, a cornerback with some experience. He doesn't have to be great, but he has to be more consistent and stay on the field like King can't. And then your defense improves dramatically with the two linebackers that, showed themselves worthy of playing time, who are only going to get better next year. So give me a defense to go along with that offense, and we will kick everybody's butt.
Yeah. I see. I've been saying that for a long time now. You need a better defense, and the answer seems to be, well, the only way to get a better defense is to get rid of your Hall of Fame quarterback. And I think that pretty much eliminates your hope and opportunity. And what you're telling me is a lot of the stuff that I've heard as well when it comes to Jordan Love. All the talent in the world, but the majority of quarterbacking is not necessarily your arm talent. It is between your ears.
No. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady hasn't got the greatest arm in the world, but he's got the most titles because he had a tremendous coach, and he's always had a great defense. And it makes me absolutely crazy when you have somebody with the talent that Aaron Rodgers has, and you will not give him a defense because he drags you to the playoffs every year when he's not hurt. He's just, I'm sorry. I can't, he's not God, but as far as quarterbacks are concerned, for the Green Bay Packers that I have seen play, Bart Starr was the best caller on the field, the most unselfish player on the field. But Aaron Rodgers has the most arm talent. I don't care. Pick your quarterback throughout history. If you want to talk about just pure throwing of the football, there isn't anybody that's ever been any better.
Right. No, I'll agree with that. Appreciate the phone call. Thanks for giving us a buzz. Let's do this. We're a little bit late for a break. We'll step away, come back. By the way, more details coming out about Deshaun Watson, and we'll get back into this discussion as well. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. We are glad you're here. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We certainly appreciate it. Bill Michaels Show continues on. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to chime in, feel free to go ahead and do so. A lot of discussion about what Rob Reichel had to say. Got a email here, and this one's from Cody, who says, and not a good take by Rob, the franchise frustrated with Rodgers being 1-4 in NFC Championship games. He's outplayed every quarterback in 4 losses. Matt Ryan, maybe, had except for that game, they had no chance in Atlanta with their defense. Their defense was just so bad. The only thing that potentially validates that take is that Brady and Wilson capitalized in the red zone in big plays, and Rodgers did not, which is still a legitimate discussion. You know, Rodgers didn't capitalize on those big plays, so that's somewhat understandable. Okay. I get it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. But again, I go back to what has been the holdup for this team in NFC Championship games more often than not. Has it been Aaron Rodgers and quarterback play and the offense, or has it been the defense? And I think almost everybody would say, except for 2014, there were so many different plays that team could have made that could have, would have, should have put them over the top, that they could have still won that game had certain things not happened. You know what I mean? So I still believe that you do everything you can while you have a Hall of Famer in your stable to try to get yourself to a Super Bowl. That's it. That's it. Gary says, and Gary is quick to cut Aaron Rodgers. Our guy Gary Beatty over on YouTube says, look, Rashawn Gary can improve, but Love can't. Rashawn Gary can improve physically. You can get moves. You're a defensive lineman. You're a pass rusher. Quarterbacks have to improve between the ears. Physically, the biggest thing between a quarterback and the ability to play quarterback is between the ears. It's how long does it take you to, one, understand the quarterback position, and two, and this is the big one, how you can understand the quarterback position and make a decision and act upon it. Because there are quarterbacks that do it really quick. And then there's quarterbacks that can see it, but it takes them that extra split second to do it, and by then the window's closed. In the NFL, you don't have 5 yards. You don't have that. You don't have a 3-yard gap. You've got a guy with an arm wrapped around your receiver, and you've got to put it into a window that only your receiver can get to it. And you have to be able to see that and react and get rid of the football in a very quick fashion. And that's the biggest thing about it. There's a lot of good quarterbacks that can throw the ball, that can run with the ball. They can throw a hard, long spiral. They got strong arms and all the athleticism and stuff. But it's the guys that can make the decision and throw the foot in a quicker motion and in a quicker decision-making window than those that can't. And those are the elite. Those are the ones that you look at and say, okay, that guy has it because he can see it and he can react to it quicker than another guy can. So Jordan Love may have all the talent in the world. And Rashawn Gary, in the comparison, Rashawn Gary can get bigger, faster, stronger. Okay? Rashawn Gary can get more powerful. He can lift more, bench more, get more leverage, all that kind of stuff. Jordan Love has to get smarter and react quicker. That's the difference. It's not a physicality thing. So for those that want to compare that, it's not. That's not what this is. He's a strong quarterback, got a good arm. I've seen him throw the football. That's not this. It's about knowledge. So can he learn more? Absolutely. Everybody learns every day. But it's the knowledge that you have and the reaction time that it takes for you to then get rid of the football or make the decision and actually act upon it. That's what needs to increase and get better. So we'll see. We'll see. Dylan says nobody would be questioning Aaron Rodgers if we had won the Super Bowl this year. Aaron is the Packers. To say he is done and he should be cut is absolutely ridiculous. Eric says you also have an MVP who broke a collarbone twice, took huge hits through the years, and obviously passed prime at. So he may. I disagree with. He's 38, yeah. And is he past his prime? He just won an MVP. It's hard to say he's past his prime. He looked as good this year throwing the football as I think I've ever seen him. So to say he's past his prime, nah, I don't think so. But when you look at he broke his, we can't say he broke his collarbone, okay? Because what you have to say is, yeah, Aaron Rodgers got hurt, but when you have bodies fall on you, that was it. And he has played every game since 2017. 2018 all 16, 2019 all 16, 2020 all 16. As a matter of fact, he played the only 2 years was 2010, 2011. He missed one game in 2010. In 2011, they were so far ahead, he sat the last game of the season. Other than the 2 years he broke the collarbone, he's played every game. So to say the injury prone or anything, that's crap. It's complete crap. This year, the most touchdowns in his career, 48. His best touchdown percentage, 9.1. His best touchdown to interception ratio. His quarterback rating was 121.5. His only other time doing that was the year he won the MVP at 122.5. So to say he's washed up, what the hell are you watching? He had an incredible season. And then take into account that, yes, he did play. He did have 2 seasons in which 2013 he only played 9, and 2017 he only played 7. Okay. So from 2008 till now, which is 11 years, 2 of those seasons, he only had half seasons. So he's only really played 10 years in the league and taken the pounding for 10 years. Think about that, as opposed to a quarterback who's played 15 and started every damn game. So even that argument is a little bit moot. To say he's past his prime, I think, is ridiculous. Will Father Time catch up with him? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't argue that. But for those that want to throw him out the door, I think you're crazy. And I guarantee you this. Let's say in 2 years they do. I guarantee you over the 3 years after that of just inadequate, lackluster play, you're not going to call this program back and go, you know what? I was 100% wrong. They should have balled out when they had Aaron Rodgers in your stable.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back, and we are glad you are with us. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We certainly appreciate it. Bill Michaels Show, we continue on. 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, go ahead and do so. You can track us down on many different levels, so to speak, over on Twitter. You can find us Facebook. You can track us down as well. Facebook's another tremendous way. The Bill Michaels Show over on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. The Bill Michaels, simple, The Bill Michaels over on YouTube and on Twitch. And you can find us on email the same way at gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Our buddy Steve said, first of all, the corned beef in the Instapot was fan-damn-tabulous. You could cut it with a spoon. I've got to get you one. I do. I got to get the Instapot. I don't have one. I'll get one eventually. I got the air fryer, the Ninja air fryer, but I've heard the Instapot's the way to go. Excuse me. He said, second, I really think you're going to see a defensive heavy draft for the Packers. They've gotten beat in the NFC Championship game the last 2 years because they couldn't stop the run or generate a consistent pass rush. I think we're going to see at least one, if not two, defensive tackles, one or two corners, and one or two linebackers. Throw in a wide receiver in rounds 3 or 4 and an offensive lineman or 2, and you're going to have a solid draft. Bring on the 60-degree weather. That's our buddy Steve listening to us in Richfield. Steve, you're the man. I get you. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. I'm not saying, though, by the way, that I just push everything 4 or 5 years out for Aaron Rodgers. I think you got to be fiscally responsible, but you cannot scream about defenses giving up plays, big plays in big games. They're still going to win you games. Now, will they win 13 again this year? I'm going to start my guess out at 11. If I had to sit here today and say, okay, what's the Packers record next year? I'm going to say 11. I'm going to start out at 11 wins. Always plus or minus, 1. But 11. I don't think it's 13-3 again this year. They probably, most likely, will win the NFC North and get themselves into the postseason with either a first round bye or at least a very, a home game at Lambeau Field. So, barring injury, let me qualify it by saying barring injury of Aaron Rodgers, but the rest, I think we're going to be screaming about the same thing unless we see this team go. If this team does not go out and get a bona fide corner, then do you think that this team still has unless you find it's just so hard to find a stud corner that's going to come in and be terrific right away. James says, I think people forget that he's been in the NFL for 16 years, but he's only 13 years of mileage on his body. And really, if you take away this, like I said, the half seasons, he's only got 11 or 12. It's easy to play 5 more years, if not more. Then again, he could retire in 2 years and go have a lot of babies with his new wife and maybe even host Jeopardy. Who knows? That's our buddy James. Adam says, anybody who says Aaron Rodgers is past his prime or washed up after this season, after the season he just had, they have to be locked up in their house too long, and they've just gone completely crazy. I agree. Rodgers say the defense played well enough to win this year. Jones fumbled and gave up an easy score. The defense got 3 turnovers, and the offense did not capitalize on that. Aaron missed Lazard, threw a pick, forced the ball to Adams, should have run the ball, and LaFleur took the ball out of his hands. He is still the MVP and gives us the best chance to win another Super Bowl. That's my point. I agree with you on everything you just said. I completely agree with you on everything you just said. Eric says you can't draft all defense and expect to have a good number of them to be productive in a rookie year. They need to sign some free agents. Bam! I agree with you. What your draft will do is bolster your special teams. Yes, you want to be able to have guys waiting in the wings, but you are 100% correct. You still need to sign a couple of free agents. I don't know where they're going to get the money to do that. If they don't restructure Rodgers, I don't know where they're going to get the money to do that. They're going to make some cuts, but you still, let's just say that the numbers are correct with the Sport Track, and that the Packers are 3.9 million under the cap, almost 4 million, we'll say. You still need another million or two just to get your rookies in. So you still got to make some. You still got to make some cuts. You still got to trim some fat. So we'll see what happens. I am not. Again, I'm not saying the Packers won't, because they very well still may. They're doing just enough right now to see where everything's at. But we still know, you and I both know, they got some things they need to do. Okay, when we come back, I will give you the details as it gets weirder and weirder for Deshaun Watson. We are on the cusp of the play-in games. We'll talk about the tournament. Have you finally submitted your bracket? I will be posting mine shortly. We'll get into that discussion. And then we'll sit back tomorrow and start watching the games while the program is going on. I really wanted to get the other television in here. I don't think I'm going to have it in here in time. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll be paying attention, flipping back and forth all day tomorrow. Bucks make a trade. How much better do you think the Bucks are? We'll get into that discussion as well. Stay tuned. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show right after this.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Zone Update.
Well, the Bucks roared back from a 19-point deficit last night to beat Philadelphia in overtime, and Giannis Antetokounmpo was a big part of it. Had 28 of his 32 points in the second half in overtime, including a personal 7-0 run in OT that helped Milwaukee put the game away. However, it was a reaction to his final bucket when he ran back down to the other end of the court and sat down that had Sixers Dwight Howard upset.
I wanted to go and stone cold stunner him, but I had already got one tech. You know, he had a hell of a game. He made some tough shots at the end of the game, reigning MVP, and he had a great game. So not one to talk trash or say anything negative, but we'll see them again and be a different result.
Giannis, though, not backing down.
I don't want to take anything back because I was thinking about it for sit down. I was just having fun. I was talking to, my teammates. I was talking to them. I was just trying to be in the moment. But no, I don't take nothing back. I was just having fun.
The win was the fifth straight for Milwaukee, who would be within a game of Philly and Brooklyn for first place in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, before the game, team made a trade with Houston that netted them veteran P.J. Tucker. Bucks sent DJ Augustine and DJ Wilson back, while also sending Torrey Craig to Phoenix. Meanwhile, Badgers going to practice once more today before taking out North Carolina tomorrow night in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Hey, honey, how was your day? Well, I brought home a delicious dinner and possibly $10K. That's $10,000. That's a good day. It's Quick Trip's take-home meal sweepstakes. Try our chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, spicy chicken penny, spaghetti, and more. Buy with your rewards card, and you could win $10,000. No purchase necessary. See stores for details. Dinner, fresh from our kitchen, to heat and eat in yours. But let's be honest, they had me at $10K. The take-home meal from Quick got dinner.
Brewers are back in action this afternoon as they take on the Angels down in spring training. Opening day just 2 weeks away. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome one, welcome all. We are glad you are here. Thanks so much for taking a listen to the Bill Michaels Show. We appreciate it. The details continue to come out about Deshaun Watson. as it just gets. Again, I am not going to go with the guilty until proven innocent. It's just the details get weirder, and now the accusations continue to mount. So we'll give you those coming up here in just a little bit. And thanks to those of you paying attention to us over on the Bud Light live stream. Certainly appreciate that as well. Hi to one, hi to all for watching us over there. If you want to find us on YouTube and on Twitch, it's just simply The Bill Michaels. The Bill Michaels, Michaels. Please, I so appreciate everybody that subscribes. I really do. Thanks to all of you for paying attention. We started out with a couple of hundred subscribers for a long time over on YouTube. We're up to almost 1,500. It's like 1,470 or something like that, 78. But closing in on 1,500 subscribers. Thank you so much. And we're up over 50 on Twitch now, on Twitch TV. And, it's taken a while because it's kind of a younger audience that follows us over on Twitch. That's okay. Everybody's welcome. So follow us on Twitch, the Facebook fan page as well, simply facebook.com, The Bill Michaels Show. Over there, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill_Michaels. So thanks so much. If you, by the way, and I mentioned this before and I wanted to get to it. So if you have loved wine and cheese, okay, and you're looking for a great getaway, this is it. This is it. I talked about this a little bit earlier, but listen up. You can head to the Four Seasons Island Resort, the Four Seasons Resort this weekend. This is a great place to go. You can watch the games. They have the Boundary Waters Bar and Grill, and usually they have music and entertainment there on the weekends too. But they're going to have upstairs across from the Diamond Room, the wine dinner in the Diamond Room Friday night. You can get a reservation. There's a bar right across from the Diamond Room. I was just up there not that long ago. I was up there in February. But in February, it was completely snow covered. And it was great because of all the snowmobilers that were out. Now it's starting to melt, or it has melted. And the golf course is now becoming visible. So you get a chance to go up there and check that out. And maybe you want to go back later in the summer months, but you can go with a reservation only for the wine dinner in the Diamond Room. That's this Friday night. And they are now reducing the price for those of you that are listening to us on this network, on the Bill Michaels Network. So listen up. Email my friend Barb, B-A-R-B, Barb at the4seasonswi.com. That's Barb at the4seasonswi.com. You can reserve a seat today. The courses, the pairing of the wine, the cheese, the menu, the whole thing. It's on Facebook. You can check it out there if you want to. And it's coming up. It's coming up. Now, starting on Saturday at 4 o'clock, the Wine and Cheese Fest is going to be in the Lounge Bar. On, I think that's the 26th. That's coming up on the 26th. So you got the Lounge Bar. No, excuse me. I completely mistook this. Hold on. The Wine and Cheese event is on Friday night, the 26th. So it's a week from this Friday. Okay, so it's a week from this Friday. I completely screwed this up, so I apologize. So you got a little more planning time. So it's not tomorrow. It's a week from this Friday. Okay. Then Saturday on the 27th, the Wine and Cheese Festival is in the Lounge Bar. And if you purchase an appetizer, you get a complimentary wine pairing and the cheese sampler, which is kind of cool. And you can take the family over to Moscano Island Easter weekend as well. You can call and ask for the special lodging rates then also, which is really cool. Again, they got a huge indoor pool there. You can call them 715-324-5800. Make your reservation. 715-324-5800. 715-324-5800. You can do the same thing over at Pine Mountain, the Pine Mountain Resort in the UP. And there they hope to have the hills still open for skiing. So if you're into skiing and you still want to do it in warmer weather while the snow is melting but not gone, call them 906-774-2747. 906-774-2747. Make your reservations and stay tuned for more, because they got guided waterfall tours coming up, which has never been done up there before. They're starting to do that, but a lot of cool stuff. But for all the information, send an email to my girl Barb, B-A-R-B, at the4seasonswi.com. That's wi.com. They're really, really good people up there. And just so much fun, and it's a great place. And we have got some cool events that we're planning as we speak to take some listeners with us up there. By the way, the new lawsuit against Deshaun Watson is this. New details coming out. The newest lawsuit involves a woman. She is a licensed massage therapist. She was contacted by Deshaun Watson through Instagram. He's finding massage therapists through Instagram. She had never had previous contact with Watson, according to the suit. The massage was scheduled for December 28th at 10 a.m. at a Houston office building. The woman initially was accompanied by her mother. And she's a younger girl. She had just gotten engaged. Her mom brought her there, dropped her off, helped her prepare and set up, and then left the room as Watson was arriving. Now, according to the lawsuit, the massage therapist left the room and allowed Watson to, undress. She said, down to your, undershorts or whatever. And when she came back, he was laying on the table on his stomach with only a small towel covering his rear end. Nothing on underneath the towel. The woman was, quote, perplexed and started getting uncomfortable, according to the lawsuit. But she wanted to be professional. This was her first big-time kind of massage appointment. The lawsuit alleges that after Watson then flipped over on his back, he then began to coerce the woman to massage his inner groin area. Here we go. And then when she wanted to use a tool because he complained of muscle stiffness, pardon the pun, she wanted to use a tool for rubbing out the muscles. He got upset with her and said no. He wanted him to use her hands. Or he wanted her to use her hands. Watson later then forcefully told the woman to move her hand down and to begin to grab him. She said she would massage in the area but would not do anything. And then apparently he then had her slide his hands across his happy zone. And the woman was shaking at this point, felt intimidated and threatened, to where he then kept coercing her and intimidating her. And it was at that point that they say coerced, others say forced, depending on what you believe, her mouth by the back of her neck, grabbing the back of her neck towards his happy regions. And then she began, or he forced her, whatever you want to say, oral sex. It commenced. The woman did not consent to any of this contact, and as a matter of fact, she blacked out from fear. Watson then got up, offered no apology. The woman was so shaken that she wet herself and had to go clean up in the bathroom before being picked up at a coffee house or at the office area by her mom. Watson has not been charged with the crime. He wrote on Twitter that he rejected the baseless six-figure settlement before the initial lawsuit was filed. Now, remember, two others. This is the third one that's been filed. The NFL said that they are aware of the suits, will decline further comment. And that's what the NFL does. The Texans, not commenting, said, we take the accusations of this nature that involve anyone with Houston Texans organization very seriously. So there you go. So not one, not two, but now three women have come out. And as a matter of fact, the attorney for the women, Anthony Busby, says that there are three others that they are preparing for, three other women that have claimed the exact same thing or same type of behavior and the same type of situation. And again, I said, look, he's innocent until proven guilty. Whatever happens. But I'm kind of scratching my head going, what are you doing finding women on Instagram to rub you down? What the hell are you doing? It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. You are doing nothing but setting yourself up for something like this. If indeed you are innocent, now your name has been smeared. And if you're guilty as hell, then you deserve to go to jail. But it's just What are you doing? What are you doing tracking women down on Instagram to rub you down when you have everything at your disposal from the team? You are the franchise, for God's sakes. What are you doing? I can see personal trainers, you bring into your home and you're working out, or maybe you got a home gym or something, but not massage therapists, unless, of course, you're going with a male. You've got a fitness team, a group of people, but finding them randomly on Instagram and then going to meet them, you're setting yourself up for horrific failure. So that's the complaint that's been filed now against Deshaun Watson, and more details continue to come out. It was filed in U.S. District Court in Harris County, Texas, alleging that Watson is now a sexual assaulter and harasser of numerous women. So there you go. I bet you the Texans might be thinking a little bit harder about trading Watson now, right? Then again, his stock is dropping by the moment, if indeed all this stuff comes out to be true. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. At least the details aren't good. Cheers says, hey, Bill, thanks for the passion you're showing regarding the Rodgers argument. The people who are ready to get rid of him either weren't alive for the 70s and the 80s. Honestly, if management can't build around an MVP, then yeah, they should go ahead and get rid of him. That I will agree. If you're not going to build around him, let him go. Jumpstart the Jordan Love era. Let him take his lumps early and see what you got in the guy. If you're not going to go all in, then let him go. At the end of this season, cut him loose. And the problem with that is that it's exactly what the article out of Forbes that when we had Rob Reischel on indicates, that if you are not going to be going for it, then you have made Aaron Rodgers a lame duck quarterback. Right? Then he's a lame duck quarterback. Because you're not. What is that telling the rest of that team? Yeah, we're going to pay a little bit of money. We're going to try to keep the band together. We're close. But you're not going to do anything extra to really go over the top to bring in the extra pieces that could solidify things. You know what I mean? 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We'll step away, take a quick break, come back. We got more right after this. Welcome back. Glad to have you. Hey, I got a note here from Robert. Robert says, hey, Bill, my band, The Descendants, going to be playing Saturday, April 3rd. That's Easter weekend, by the way. Easter weekend at Four Seasons, playing 9 to midnight. Robert, you the man. Good stuff. That's the opening of the baseball weekend, too. So if you're heading up to Four Seasons Island Resort in Pembine, Wisconsin, my friends, check out The Descendants. Robert's band's going to be playing there Saturday night, April 3rd, down the Boundary. I would assume it's in the Boundary Waters Bar. Hit me up if I'm mistaken. But I would assume it's downstairs the bar. Otherwise, it might be upstairs in one of the ballrooms, something like that. But yeah, should be good. Good for you, man. Good stuff. Hey, I want to let you know that our friends at Schulze Family Farms Beef, good people. And the weather, it is, if you're looking outside and you're noticing that the weather, it's getting nicer anyway. I mean, there it is if you're following me on the stream. That's the Tiki Bar cam right now on the Bud Light live stream here in the studio. The sun's out. It's windy as hell out today. The sun's out, and we know that you're going to be grilling, and you can see right there my Traeger grill is covered up, but I'm going to be getting that thing out later on tonight. And the grill is actually, there's another one that's a gas grill. It's under the Tiki Bar top. You can see that in the Bud Light live stream as well. But grilling season is here, and you can guarantee your supply of farm fresh, by the way, farm fresh beef for the summer months all summer long. Get yourself a 6 or a 12-month subscription. A 12-month is good. You know why? Because it'll take you all the way through the end of the year and all the way through football season. So your tailgating stuff is there too. So you can tailgate for some baseball, tailgate for some grill outs, 4th of July, all the way around through tailgating season into football. And if you sign up for one of those subscriptions, they will send you a free pound of ground beef every month. Do what you want with it. Meatloaf, meatballs, chili, whatever it happens to be. Breakfast meats they have available too, sausage and bacon and all kinds of links. They've got those. But they can ship it right from their family farm to your family table. They'll bring it right to your doorstep, packed in dry ice. So if you go away during the summer, you can just keep it in the box and take it up north with you or wherever you decide to go, whatever campsite you decide to go. And they can even mail it to your cabin. Have it ready for you when you get there if you don't want to take it with you. And if you live in, or vacation, and I should say the Black River Falls area or Humbird, Wisconsin, stop by and visit the farm or the farm store, if you will, and stop in and say hi. From their family farm to your family table, and I always say our friends over there at Schulze Family Farms Beef, hit them up by simply going to Schulze, SCHOLZE, SchulzeFamilyBeef.com. That is SchulzeFamilyBeef.com. Good people over there in Humbird, Wisconsin. At SchulzeFamilyBeef.com. Again, SchulzeFamilyBeef.com. There you go. A lot of people chiming in on the Bud Light live stream. SchulzeFamilyBeef.com, Gino. Schulze, SCHOLZE, SchulzeFamilyBeef.com. And you can find them there. So, terrific people, terrific stuff. So, a lot to get to. I do want to touch on the Milwaukee Bucks because the Bucks made a deal, in case you didn't know. The Bucks made a trade, and they pick up P.J. Tucker from Houston. A good forward, guy that's more of a defender than he is a shooter, but can add some points and give you some points coming off the bench and such. But do you like the other controversy that I really want to get into as well regards Giannis, and I'll tell you about that coming up in a second. But do you like the deal? Do you like the deal? Are you a fan of picking up P.J. Tucker if you're a Bucks fan? Do you like the deal? I like the fact that I look at it this way, that they are, much like I keep talking about with the Packers, they're trying to do something, anything to bolster the roster, anything to bolster their bench. They're trying to do anything right now to get it done. So do you like the deal for what they did with the Milwaukee Bucks, what John Horst has done? They sent DJ Augustine, DJ Wilson go to the Rockets. They traded a whole bunch of, picks and moved stuff around. Okay, that's great. But the bottom line is, you traded Augustine and Wilson for P.J. Tucker. So you get P.J. Tucker, you get a power forward. Do you like the deal? Do you like the deal? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Now, the next step in the process, is the Giannis controversy. Now I'm gonna ask you to do something here in a minute, okay? The Giannis controversy. So he hits the turnaround jumper, and he's driving down the lane, hits the turnaround, and he's on this 7-0 run himself, right? And he gives the Bucks what turns out to be the lead, and they never lose the game. A 109-105 win. Okay, they've now won 5 straight, 9 of their last 10. They're on a little bit of a roll. Okay, and they beat the 76ers without Joel Embiid. And so Giannis hits the shot, bam, drops in. He turns around, runs just about to the middle of the floor, and sits down, and folds his arms around his leg, and then sits down. And he's smiling, okay? He's smiling. And it's kind of as if to say, because this was an overtime, it's kind of as if to say, go sit down, we got you, okay? But it's also Giannis having a little bit of fun. Now, the crowd, if you will, if you want to call it that was at the Wells Fargo Center, did not take kindly to it. They were booing the hell out of him. Okay. Dwight Howard said that he would have gone all Stone Cold Steve Austin on his ass had it not been for the fact that he already had a technical. He already had a technical, and he would have been booted. So the question is, because Giannis, they're saying, well, that's Giannis being Giannis. He's having fun. Why can't we have fun? Okay. Had this been Kawhi Leonard, he hits a shot. Remember back when we all hated Drake? Still do. And during the Eastern Conference Finals, Kawhi Leonard hits a shot, goes to the middle of the Bucks Fiserv Forum floor and sits down as if to say, sit down. Would we have hated it? Would it have been wrong to do? So I'm trying to look at this thing from both sides to see what my gut, because my gut's probably like yours. Giannis is having fun. You want to stop him, beat him. The same thing with Drake. I hated Drake. Hate the Drake. So if you want him to sit down, beat him. That's my gut reaction to this. But we talk about Juju Smith-Schuster. He was dancing on everybody's logo. He was doing his steps, getting all cool. Yeah, rocking. Yeah. Doing it on the logo of the opponents. Yeah. Look at me. I'm on your logo. I'm dancing. You can't stop me. How are we looking? And then he got his clock cleaned and his ass beat in Cincinnati. And suddenly, wow, wait a minute. People don't like that. Is Juju Smith-Schuster wrong? Well, no. Now, if you got a team gathering and stomping on your logo, it's disrespectful. But if you want them to stop it, beat their ass. Do it. Go beat them. So, on one hand, you've got the world kind of getting down on Giannis. Okay. But to me, if you don't want him to do it, beat him. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I had to really think about this. Because I had to think to myself, if this is something that would bother Bucks fans, would bother Packers fans, would bother Brewers fans, whatever it happens to be, that would be the same of, say, top of the ninth at Miller Park at American Family Field, and somebody hits a 3-run bomb, and it's in extra innings, and they come home, and instead of just high-fiving and walking to the dugout, they stomp on home plate, and then they do a little dance on home plate, and then they walk to the dugout. So, okay, the fans would hate it. Certainly the next batter's probably getting plunked. Brewers would hate it. It is what it is. We would be talking about it. And then the argument's going to be, well, if you don't want him to do it, you shouldn't have thrown him, belt-high fastball that he took out over the left center field wall, right? So I try to look at it from both sides. Is it taunting? Because in the NBA, they have a taunting rule. In the NFL, they have a taunting rule. Is it taunting? He didn't do it directed. As a matter of fact, his back was turned away from his opponent. Is it the same as, say, a player scoring a touchdown and doing a little dance in the end zone? Or sitting down as if to say to everybody else in the stands, go ahead and sit down. We just beat you. Is it any different? See, I don't think so. So it's Giannis being Giannis. And Giannis eventually will have to pay the price because at some point, either Dwight Howard or Joel Embiid or somebody is going to try to take him out because they're not going to be happy about it. And there's probably going to be a flagrant in the future. But while it makes me cringe a little, I didn't mind it. It makes me cringe because of what happened in the future. I don't want to see Giannis get hurt. I don't want to see fight break out. I don't want to see. But guys have long memories. You know, remember the year that Prince Fielder got plunked by the San Francisco Giants like a year later, and they're like, "Well, we remember that." Well, that was back in October, dude. This is spring training, and you got a guy throwing marshmallows up there at his butt. What are you doing? But players have long memories, man. It doesn't bother me. As a matter of fact, I kind of smiled. It's kind of the, if you want to call it the swagger, the shimmy, the childlike enthusiasm of one Giannis Antetokounmpo. But nevertheless, it's going to be something that still, I'm just sitting here watching ESPN now, and I've got the NBA channel on. I've been flipping back and forth, and they're showing it over and over and over again. So a lot of teams in the league are going to look at that and go, yeah, we don't like that. We don't like it. But what's the difference? Steph Curry hits a jump away. A fadeaway jumper, hits a big three at the end of the game and does that little shimmy, right? Does that little shoulder thing. Isn't that the same thing? He's called cute and enthusiastic and energetic and good for the game. Giannis does it and suddenly he's an evil person? Come on. I like it. It makes me cringe because I don't want to, but more of the Bill Michaels.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
High fives, Wisconsin.
Gina from Pella, what's the celebration?
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin was just named NARI's Distributor of the Year.
That's a big deal.
You're not kidding, but there's more. The International Builder Show just named Pella's new Easy Slide Operator Best Window and Door Product of the Year.
Another pellet that eliminates the repetitive cranking motion on casement and awning windows with an easy slide.
A real blessing for those with hand and wrist issues.
Why crank your windows when you can easy slide, right?
But there's still more.
Oh, you mean based on the 2019 Consumer Survey on leading national brands that Pella is rated #1 for highest value, highest quality.
Yes, but there's still more. Now get 5 years, no interest, plus 5 months, no first payment.
Pella now, pay later. High fives all around.
But only through March 31st. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com/radio or 855-PELLA-WI.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show on the air. We are glad you are with us. Thanks so much. Want to hit us up? You can drop me an email, thebillmichaels@gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. And the Bucs making a deal. PJ Tucker coming into the system. It keeps him away from other teams as well. The Bucs need that kind of, we'll say, badass toughness. Might be the best way to put it. And he's PJ, Drew Holiday. That's a duo that they defensively they can lock it down. They can lock it down. Now the backup point guard position certainly becomes something of thought, but I like the fact that they went after some toughness. I do. So I'm good with that. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up on the live stream, the Bud Light live stream, certainly go ahead and do so. 866-867-1670. You can find us over in the Bud Light live stream. Hey, we are brought to you by our friends at Quick Trip. Quick Trip is the official fuel and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. And for those that are into the March Madness thing and the tournament, the play-in begins tonight. But if you're a fan of the tournament, you could win a trip to go to the 2022 NCAA Final Four. You can buy any 20-ounce Coke product or any Kitchen Cravings fried chicken product. with your Quick Rewards card, you're automatically entered to win. That fried chicken they have at Quick Trip, that is good. It is so good. You don't even eat it. You take it home, you throw it in bed, you roll around in it. It's just that satisfying. It's so good. Oh my goodness. If you buy both the Coke and the chicken together. So if you Coke up your chicken, you see what I'm saying, and use that Quick Rewards card, you get 10 bonus entries. 10 bonus entries for the 2022 NCAA March Madness Final Four. How are we looking? We got to say NCAA Final Four. We can't use March Madness, I guess. That is a trademarked term. So want to make sure we avoid all of that. But you get it, right? You get it. So head into your local Quick Trip. Quick Trip, the home, and the official fuel sponsor and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network and of Bill Michaels' ass, because I go there a lot. I go there. What don't I shop there for? I go in there once a week because I'm not a huge milk drinker, but my dogs are. So the dogs get milk every night. I go there for the bacon when I do the eggs. So I do the eggs and the bacon from there. The bread there is like nuclear bread. It's awesome. It never goes bad. It's incredible. The bread is incredible. I stop in there for Red Bull every now and then, but they have those snack packs, the grapes, the cheese, the apples, and then a couple of Ritz crackers. Oh, that'll keep you going all day long. And then that fried chicken. I just go in there to smell it. They have to kick me out. I just go in there. Oh, I'll do the tenders. Oh, so good. And then I leave. Unless, of course, I walk in wearing a parka. Then they know I'm heading to the beer cave, and I'm just going to go sit back there for a while. Start drinking in the beer cave and pay for whatever it is I drink. So, good stuff there. Brian says, happy about the Bucs deal. Great defender and corner 3 specialist. Threads good. PJ Tucker coming into the Bucs system. A little more hope out of the Bucs as we start to effort towards the postseason. I'm excited. That's a good move. That's a really good move. By the way, the Kansas City Chiefs have signed guard and returning from retirement, Kyle Long, trying to bolster the depth on their offensive line. And Adam Schefter reporting Jared Cook is going to the Chargers. 1 year, $6 million. Jared Cook going to the Chargers. Jared Cook going to the Chargers. There's just all kinds of things happening right now, and the early flurry of free agent signings does not, nor I think for a long time has it ever involved your Green Bay Packers. But Jared Cook going to the Chargers, Kyle Long going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Day two of the free agent period. There you go. 877-867-1670. Tante over there on finding us over on the YouTube channel says, I love the move. It adds a lot of bulk to an otherwise thin lineup for the Milwaukee Bucks. I just hope Budenholzer uses him correctly. He says, I like what the Packers are doing so far. Remain patient, but the bottom line is they have to restructure Aaron Rodgers' deal. They will do it sooner rather than later. Let's be patient. I've said, look, where I'm at right now, I get it. I'm just going to wait and see mode. I'm going to wait and see. I'm just going to hang in there. Just going to kind of hope it all comes to fruition. Just breathe easy. If a good cornerback sits out on the market for a little while and they get him at a reduced price, and then Aaron Rodgers restructures that deal to do so, I'm all for it. Our buddy Greg says, how are we looking from Waukesha? Lance says, of course Packers won't sign anybody. Our buddy Chris and Cindy say fried chicken. Oh, my God. By the way, the Milwaukee Health Department went into Phase 6. Now, I don't know if Phase 6 is like DEFCON 1 or DEFCON 3 or red alert or amber alert or green alert or purple on the radar. I don't know what the hell the phases are. I don't. I don't even claim to. It's too baffling for me. Phase 6, which allows more people now to gather. We told you this was coming. I keep telling you it's coming. They want to open things back up. I am specifically told there's 2 people. One of them is in the state legislature that is telling me behind closed doors, they are saying, open up, damn it. We're running out of money. So they're going to open up, but we cannot tailgate yet. So you're allowed to put more people in bars and restaurants, but you can't tailgate outside. Apparently, the coronavirus only lurks in the Euchre lot out at Miller Park. So they're trying to prevent the spread from the Euchre lot into other lots right now. You got to be careful of that. You got to be careful. I can see it happening. Once you cross that Hank Aaron trail, baby, it's no holds bar. You got to be careful. Rona will grab you. You head to the sausage house, you're just out there going, hey, Dad, throw me the ball. And next thing you know, you get the ball, and it's over your head, and you go running back to the sausage house, and the Rona got you. Throws you right in a drink, right in that little creek. Got to be careful over there, man. Got to be careful. Rona will get you. Rona won't get you like Deshaun Watson will get you, but Rona will get you. Got to be careful. I shouldn't make fun, but I did. So cat's out of the bag. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. Bill Show. Wisconsin Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. How we looking? This portion of the program brought to you by our good friends over at Quick Trip, the official fuel and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Waddy Jake says, listen to you every day, 101.7, best radio in Wisconsin. Waddy Jake, you to me. Good stuff. MC Brewer says, I love listening to you. By the way, listening in Marshfield on WOSQ in Marshfield. And Tina listens every day in Shawano. She cuts hair, and she says, big-time Packers fan, been listening to the sports talk for a while now. Some of the girls in the salon don't like it, but that's okay. There you go. We don't want to offend anybody sitting in the chair, for gosh sakes. We don't want to do that. Have the girls call in. Let us know what's in style. Maybe next time I'm in the area, I'll come up and get my hair. I can't do that, though. Shaniqua would kill me. My girl Shaniqua cuts my hair. She's meticulous, too. I got good hair, all right? It's like my only decent feature. And good, thick Italian hair, okay? So, except for every now and then in the back, she'll cut it really thin, and then she says it. She told me, it looks like I was wearing a yarmulke. Like, what the hell is a yarmulke? And she said, one of those Jewish hats. And I said, oh, a yarmulke. It's not a yarmulke. And she didn't know, which is okay. But yeah, if I go somewhere else to get my hair cut, she may butcher me up. So I got to be careful with that. I love Shaniqua. It's my girl. That's my girl. She's just awesome. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. So I'm if I need a trim or something, I'll do that in the area. All right. I said, for everybody pining for Jared Cook, he signed today. I retweeted that. Mitch says, nobody's pining for Cook. Well, Mitch, you might be a single alone in the forest. I will say this, though. With Robert Tonyan and what he was able to do, and it would be nice to get another guy in behind him if you're not going to bring back Mercedes Lewis, but, it is what it is. Sal says Gutekunst wouldn't have done this. There's no outside improvements allowed, although in this scenario, Cook doesn't fill the need. I think the tight end position is all set. Tell me what you're doing in the tight end position. When you say it's all set, Sal, you got Robert Tonyan on the second round tender, and then what? And then what? An unproven Jay Sternberger. You've got Josiah DeGuara, but he's undersized for a tight end. He's more of a fullback or an H-back guy who can play in different positions, but he was banged up all last season. He got injured and then was on IR the rest of the year. You got a third-round draft choice in Sternberger who has not panned out. And unless you bring back Mercedes Lewis, that's all you got. You got the street free agent Isaac Nauta and Dominic Daphne. Who else you got? That's it, right? I don't think as far as being, quote, set, you're one injury away from being more than thin, to be honest with you. So to say we're set, I think would be a lie. Unless, of course, you bring back Mercedes Lewis, and then it changes things up. Keeping the band together. But don't tell me you're set. You're only an injury away from being thin. You know what I mean? 877-867-1670. Chime in. Lucy says, listening every day, and she's listening in Beaver Dam on the stream, MadCitySportsZone.com. Says, I love that you're back. I like the Bucks move. I'm a big Bucks fan. Can't wait for the postseason to get here. By then, do you think they will open up the Fiserv Forum to more fans? I gotta think that by the time the postseason gets here, that they're going to be maybe at 50% capacity. Something like that. At least I'm hoping. I got to think. MP DCIB says that Eric Name had wrote, our guy Eric Name, who we've had on, said that wrote that Tucker's asset's going to be willing to sacrifice for the team. And I, too, believe that's going to be showing up on the court as well. Tucker will be the locker room guy, just like Lewis is for the Packers. Eric says bring back Mercedes Lewis. Or trade for Zach Ertz if the cost is reasonable. I would think that you might have enough money laying around that you could probably bring back Mercedes Lewis. I would love to see him come back. Unless, of course, he's just he's too old in your mind. Maybe too old over the hill, so to speak. But I thought he played pretty well last year. I just did. On Wisconsin, by the way. I'm tweeting this out. How are we looking? Wisconsin men's Badger basketball, the NCAA tournament squad. They are on the ground. March Madness. They say, let's dance. They are standing in front of the JW Marriott taking a selfie of the world's largest bracket as the team stands there and looks on. Hopefully the Badgers are dancing over the weekend. More than once, we'll say. More than once. Liking it. I like that. Good stuff. Tara says, as a Packers fan, I'm very frustrated by not knowing what's going on. Do you think they are constructing something behind closed doors that they will announce later on down the road? We all know that Aaron Rodgers needs to restructure his contract. Otherwise, they're not going to have enough money even to sign some of the younger guys, even to bring back some of the low-end players. I think this team needs about 3 or 4 more pieces to fill the roster and get better. Isn't the old saying in the NFL, if you're staying the same, you're getting worse? It is. It is. Now, if your guys, you're only as good as your weakest link. And the weakest link on defense we saw more often than not, specifically in the secondary, became Kevin King. Okay. But we also saw that it was the depth up front. So if Kenny Clark being double or at times triple teamed, or just didn't win the one-on-one, then there were holes. And we saw that. So they need additional help up front. I like the duo of Barnes and Kamal Martin at the middle linebacking position. Hopefully both of those guys grow and come back even better this upcoming season, which would really be essential for the Green Bay Packers to stopping the run. I think it would be tremendous if both of those guys did, but it doesn't matter. You still need another big body. Dean Lowry underperformed. Tyler Lancaster's a work dog, but they did not send him an offer. Because you're talking about when we were in Miami a couple of years ago for Super Bowl, a year and 3 months ago. What was the term thrown around the most as we talked about the Green Bay Packers, specifically on the defensive side? Ross Tucker said it. Brian Billick said it. Steve Mariucci said it. Those are the 3 most notable. Chris Sims said it, I think, as well. They called them just guys. You need to upgrade the guys. And so I think that's what the Packers need to do. Need to upgrade the guys. So you could probably use another defender. But I think offensively, you bring in Mercedes Lewis, I think you're pretty much set. Maybe you draft another lineman or 2, but I think you're pretty much set. Defense is where it's going to be at this offseason. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We've got 1 more hour of this program yet to go on this windy, blustery, yet sunny day on this Thursday, in which the play-in games get underway and then the tournament begins. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to get my Girl Scout cookies tonight. I know, Chris, you're listening over on the live stream, Chris and Cindy. I got to get those cookies from you today, too. Cookies, I got to get those tonight. So at some point, I'll probably swing by. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Zone Update.
Well, the Bucs roared back from a 19-point deficit last night to beat Philadelphia in overtime, and Giannis Antetokounmpo was a big part of it. Had 28 of his 32 points in the second half in overtime, including a personal 7-0 run OT that helped Milwaukee put the game away. However, it was a reaction to his final bucket when he ran back down to the other end of the court and sat down that had Sixers Dwight Howard upset.
I wanted to go and stone cold stunner him, but I had already got one tech. He had a hell of a game. He made some tough shots at the end of the game, reigning MVP, and he had a great game. So not one to talk trash or say anything negative, but we'll see them again. and be a different result.
Giannis, though, not backing down.
But I don't want to take anything back because I wasn't thinking about that for sit down. I was just having fun. I was talking to, my teammates. I was talking to them. I was just trying to be in the moment. But no, I don't take nothing back. I was just having fun.
The win was the fifth straight for Milwaukee, who moved to within a game of Philly and Brooklyn for first place in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, before the game, team made a trade with Houston that netted them veteran P.J. Tucker. Bucks sent DJ Augustine and DJ Wilson back, while also sending Torrey Craig to Phoenix. Meanwhile, Badgers going to practice once more today before taking out North Carolina tomorrow night in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Hey, honey, how was your day? Well, I brought home a delicious dinner and possibly 10K. That's $10,000. That's a good day. It's Quick Trip's take-home meal sweepstakes. Try our chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, spicy chicken penny, spaghetti, and more. Buy with your rewards card, and you could win 10 grand. No purchase necessary. See stores for details. Dinner, fresh from our kitchen to heat and eat in yours. To be honest, they had me at 10K. The take-home meal sweepstakes from Quick Trip. We got dinner covered.
Well, the Brewers are back in action this afternoon as they take on the Angels down in spring training. Opening day just 2 weeks. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Hopper.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show on the air, and we are glad you are with us. For those following us on the Bud Light live stream, and you're getting a live look outside now. We are looking live, if I'm Brent Musburger, at the Tiki Bar. People all the time say, let's look around. So there you go. We got the Tiki Bar camera sitting outside, mounted to the house. So the patio lights right there in front of the camera, dancing a little bit. The tarp over the Tiki Bar, waiting to be pulled off for the summer of 2021. Not exposing everything to the elements just yet. The Traeger smoker grill right off to the right-hand side as the patio is drying out. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we get a chance to get the tarp off and the new grass hut top is on it. And we get that thing fired up. I'd like to have that thing going come opening day. If it's not real cold opening day or breezy, then I wouldn't mind doing the show out there. We'll just run the wiring out the window of the new studio and we'll do the show out there. But until then, we're just going to keep hanging out inside the studio. So welcome to the program. If you want to follow us on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels, you can follow us on Facebook, The Bill Michaels Show. And then certainly on YouTube and on Twitch, The Bill Michaels. The Bill Michaels. MICHAELS. The Bill Michaels. Same thing for an email at gmail.com. TheBillMichaels@gmail.com. Plenty of ways to be a part of the program. A lot of stuff to get to. I'd mentioned Jared Cook a little while ago. Daniel Haig says, does anybody recall how many balls Cook has dropped for the teams that he has played for at key times? Robert Tonyan is the man. He doesn't drop the ball. Cook will be an awful expensive number for two tight ends. Draft somebody. There you go. Draft somebody. Jared Cook was the receiver everybody remembers that did not drop the ball along the sidelines down in Dallas that set up that game-winning field goal for Mason Crosby to split the uprights that then put the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game down in Atlanta when they got their ass kicked. But you still remember it, you know? Still remember that. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. That damn game ruined me. Chris says you need a hot tub out back. Hot tub, summertime, ladies relaxing back there, cocktail in hand. Oh, that would look good, wouldn't it? That would look so good. There you go. That'd be nice. That would be the Friday edition of the program. So, yeah, boy. I can't say much. See, there's a lot of things running through my head regarding the ladies, but I can't Can't say a lot. It would have to be like pictured, you know? Because if I said it, then I'm a terrible person. Not in a bad way, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's very complimentary, but it's very male guy thing, you know? So 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Getting back to the Packer stuff. Brewers, by the way, coming up, Brewers are going to be back at it again today after having a day off yesterday. Brewers now, they don't have a day off now until, you get around opening day. Yesterday was their last day off. So from now through the end of the month, the Brewers will be playing. And I think they have a day off before the season gets underway, and then the next day is opening day when they take on the Minnesota Twins at Miller Park. All right, American Family Field. God, I got to stop that. Today, they're on the road. They're taking on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That's down in Tempe. That's Diablo Park. I love that place. Love that place. That's a TV game too today, by the way. TV today. Be checking that out. And then they've got Arizona back in Phoenix at American Family Fields. Then it's Cincinnati, Seattle. They basically go back and forth and back and forth. Then they're back at home, then away, then home, then away, then home, then home, then away, then home. And then the last two are at Texas in Arlington on the 29th and the 30th. They go take the Rangers on down there in Arlington in that ballpark. And then I don't think they're going to have a full park there for fans. I don't think they're going to have a full park for fans for those two season games, those two spring training games, call them. And then they're going to open it up for the home opener. And then after that, the Brewers come north. So, but Brewers back at it today. Brewers, not a bad spring training record. I'm excited about it. They've lost more than a few here as of late. The last game, they won was against the Cubs out in Mesa when they got that 8-3 explosion, but they have not been able to really have those big bust-out games offensively here for a while. So they lost 9-1 to Oakland, 4-2 to Kansas City, beat the Cubs, then tied 4 apiece to Texas, lost 5-4 to Seattle, then lost 13-3 to San Diego, and on down from there. So back at it today, hopefully with better outcome and better pitching performances and better offensive performances. They're due for that big offensive explosion. Get the bats going. Get them going a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't carry over into the regular season. That's for damn sure. Need them to start pounding a baseball. We have not talked a lot about the Brewers, and again, just because there haven't been a lot of storylines. But Mark does want to know: do you think Lorenzo Cain's going to be ready for opening day? I don't know. He is supposed to play this Saturday night. It's a night game this Saturday. So it is a night game. Is it this Saturday? Yeah, this Saturday. They play Cincinnati Goodyear time, which I believe is 8:05. And so they take on the Reds. That's this Saturday. He's supposed to play this Saturday night. He's not going to play back in American Family Fields of Phoenix against Seattle and then go back to Goodyear where they're going to take on Cleveland. He's going to play that game, which is going to be Monday against the Indians. At least that's the schedule. And then the rest of the week to get him ready for the regular season to get his bats in. I don't know how many games in a row he's going to play. They've got another night game coming up during the week. I think it's on the on Thursday. I think that's an 8:05 start time out in Scottsdale when they take on the Giants, and then after that they get ready for the home opener. So, Bruce says, "Do you think the Bucks are done making moves before the trade deadline?" Bruce, I'm not going to say never. I kind of think so, but I'm not going to say never. And here's the reason why: is because I didn't think they were going to make a move anyway. I didn't think they had much to deal, and they got rid of the DJs. So now you got PJ Tucker comes into the lineup. So you got Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez with PJ Tucker waiting in the wings. because now you've got what, Forbes and depending how you move guys around, you know, how are you going to handle your point guard situation? Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Bryn Forbes, Miles Powell would be your last guy in the depth chart when it comes to handling the basketball point guard. But I don't think they have enough now that you would want to trade for. You know? Who do you have that's sitting there that you can say, I want to trade this particular player and I'm going to get quality in return? I don't think you have it anymore. So I think they're done. But I would never say never, but 95% of me says they're done. Hopefully that answers your question. But they got the toughness they wanted, as Eric Name put. I think they've got a guy that really wants to win. He knows what it takes to win. And maybe they get a little bit additional leadership, if you will, in that locker room. See what happens. Let it play out. I'm excited. I'm excited for postseason basketball. I'm excited for Brewers baseball. I'm excited for what the rest of the offseason holds for the Green Bay Packers. I'm excited for the tournament to get underway, the play-in games tonight, the tournament to get underway tomorrow. I'm geeked. I'm excited for all of this stuff. All of this stuff. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Tonight's Hoops games, for those that want to know, the 16 seeds, Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's tip off at 4:10 Central Time. Sit down, get your Thin Mints out. Here we go. The 11 seeds go at 5:27 in the West Regional between Drake and Wichita State. The 16 seeds then get back at it at 7:40, Appalachian State and Norfolk State. And then 8:57 Central Time tonight, you've got the Big Ten represented in Michigan State taking on the Bruins of UCLA. That is at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. And then tomorrow, it's all underway for real because it's 6:10 tomorrow night, 6:10 approximately. The 8-9 matchup, the North Carolina Tar Heels are facing off against the Wisconsin Badgers, again, back at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. But tomorrow, games get underway. 11:15 is the first one. Virginia Tech and Florida. Colgate and Arkansas after that, then Drexel and Illinois, Utah State, Texas Tech, Oral Roberts and Ohio State, Hartford and the number 1 seed in Baylor and the Baylor Bears. Number 9, Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, Oregon State, Tennessee, Liberty, Oklahoma State, Cleveland State and Houston, North Texas and Purdue, Rutgers, Clemson, Syracuse, San Diego State, Morehead State and West Virginia, and then Winthrop and Villanova in the dreaded 12-5 matchup. A full day of hoops tomorrow. Makes me excited just to think about it. I think tomorrow we're just going to play all day long the March Madness theme. Just have the music cranked all day long on the program. As you just sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself. James says, I think the Badgers are going to get a win. I think they're going to surprise people. Get ready for it. Here it comes. One of the reasons he uses is they're used to Mackey Arena. They have played there. North Carolina has not. I haven't looked at North Carolina's schedule, but my assumption is you are correct. My assumption is you are correct. They have not played Purdue, the Boilermakers in West Lafayette this season. They did play Iowa. They did play Iowa out of the Big Ten. That was the Big Ten ACC matchup. But after that, nah, baby, nah. Nobody. So there you go. You are correct. Nice research job out of the department there. We'll step away. Take a quick break. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back, Bill Michaels Show. We're on the air. Glad to have you. 877-867-1670. Plenty of ways to get a hold of the program. Plenty of them on Twitter, on Facebook. You can send us an email, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. That's thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube and on Twitch. Simply Bill Michaels, the Bill Michaels, the Bill Michaels, Michaels. Welcome to the Bud Light live stream for those of you watching the show as well. So thanks for hanging out over there. Let's go to our buddy Frank, listening to us in Kaukauna. Frank, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Hi, actually, I'm from Catawba.
Catawba. Is
that Kennan?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Just a couple of thoughts. You were talking about tight ends. As a hobby, I've been doing this about approaching 45 years now, where I would evaluate players. It's just recreationally. But there's a kid out of Iowa State. They have a three-headed tight end monster over there. They have 3 good players. But the young man that I think that would fit really well in Green Bay, his name is Dylan Schoner. He's 6'6 plus and about 270 plus, but he's the most rugged, precise, smashing run blocker you ever saw. He's got real light feet, and he's got really good hands. Now, they use him primarily in rushing situations and not so much as a pass receiver. But I'm telling you, this kid is he's just a revelation if you can watch some game film of him. And the reason I wouldn't go with Mercedes Lewis is his feet are dead. You know, he can still block, he can still catch, but his feet are dead. And this Dylan Schoner, this kid has got a future in the NFL. When your Our Lads people come up and appear in your show or guests, you want to ask them about them. Could I add a couple of points?
Sure.
Other points
Yeah, go ahead.
as far as the draft goes? Okay. About 3 years ago, I was checking out the Oklahoma Sooners line. They had that great Cody Ford and Ben Powers and Drew Sabia. And I'm looking at this number 56 who's on the pivot. And I'm thinking, who is this guy? This center was just outstanding. His name's Creed Humphrey. And he is a hell of a player. And I could see him in the green and gold. And as far as somebody to a defensive tackle to play the 1 or 2 technique, I think that there's a kid out of Ohio State. His name is Tommy Togiai. And he's on the shorter side, but he's getting some press now. And I think that we could probably pick him up late third, and we could laugh all the way to the bank. And then there's just a couple of others. There's a cornerback out of North Carolina A&T named Mac McCain.
Okay.
He's kind of under the radar, but he's a good one. And then there's Jacoby Stevens, who plays safety for LSU. He's kind of a box safety.
Yeah.
But I could see our new coordinator using him as kind of a movable chess piece because he's about 220 pounds. Real solid blitzer, solid tackler. He'd be great for covering running backs and tight ends. And we could get him cheap, I'm sure.
Who was the other kid out of
those are
LSU?
just a couple of ideas.
Who was the other corner out of LSU that you were talking about?
Well, he's a safety. His name is Jacoby Stevens.
Okay.
And he's a good player. I also have the Packers pegged to take Kerry Vincent at the end of the second round.
Gotcha.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
He opted out of this last season because of COVID. But I think when their pro day shows up, I think that, if he shows up really well, the fact that he didn't play last year won't be held against him. And one last point, and it has to do with Dylan Moses. Dylan Moses is a linebacker from Alabama, and this guy got hurt. He broke a foot a couple of years ago, and then he, in the training camp in summer, he had a real bad ACL tear. And he was out the whole year. Last year he came back. He wasn't quite the same player. But this kid, if he passes all the physicals and he passes everything, this kid could be an all-time great.
He's a middle linebacker,
he'd have
right?
to work on. What's that?
He's a middle linebacker, though, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Saban had him calling plays. He's a smart player.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that the fact that his recovery wasn't going quite as well, because he played in pain all last year.
Right.
All the 2020 season, he was still in pain. But you know what? If you play him on the weak side or strong side, especially the weak side, man, the way this kid can run. And he's a brutal hitter.
Yeah.
When he tackles somebody, they stay tackled. So, but there's a lot of questions about him.
Yeah, because those two, the
glad
two
to hear
guys
you're
coming.
back on the air.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, the two guys.
Any questions?
The two guys out of Alabama that I was looking at, the outside linebackers. The one kid is that Anthony Jennings. The other kid is that he's highly rated. Terrell Lewis, I think, is the other one. Both of those guys coming out of Alabama, those guys are hitters as well. If either one of those guys, now they're pass rushers though, they're outside edge kind of guys. Yeah. So that's kind of an area that you're somewhat, I'm not going to say stacked at. You can never have too much talent, but that might not be high on the radar. But the middle linebacker, the other kid coming out of Alabama, there's a couple of them, but you had mentioned one of them. But there's a couple of decent kids coming out that you may be able to get at a middle linebacking the Willie Gay Jr. out of Mississippi State may be able to be there for you. I don't necessarily like Malik Harrison out of Ohio State. There's just something about him that just bothers me. I don't know what it is. Maybe the eyeball test or something. But the other kid is Jacob Phillips out of LSU. I think is really, really solid. So I'd love to see them get him because he's got really good speed and cover too.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, how things play out. I just, I don't understand though this. Last year, I correctly predicted that when I was on The Athletic, I posted there. correctly predicted Dillon going to us in the second and Runyon going to us in the sixth. And I thought, just like everyone else, that the Packers would pick somebody out of that great deep wide receiver core. But you know what? I wouldn't have. The guy I had picked ended up on the Saints roster. His name is Marquez Callaway, and he filled in late in the season. Nobody else drafted him. He was a free agent. He came and he made a final 53, and he's a guy whose stars are shining, and it's going to rise. But we should have picked, instead of trading up and trading our fourth to move up to get Jordan. I could not understand that at all. So, but anyway, I'll stay in touch, and glad to hear that you've got your people from Our Lads. They do a heck of a job.
Yeah, Dan Shonka is absolutely awesome. I completely agree with you. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Yeah, Dylan Moses, when he talks about Dylan Moses is expected to be maybe a high second round type of pick. Inside linebacker, 6'2". He grades at about an 83 grade. But he's a really, when he talks about him, he's an inside linebacker that a lot of people like, but I don't think he's a first round talent. Somebody may fall to get him, but I don't think he's a first round talent. The other kid, K. Vincent Jr., he's a little undersized, but good speed. The middle linebacker out of LSU, another solid guy. And then there's the other corner. And the corner that I really liked, and you could probably pick him up in the second round. I like him out of Georgia. His name's Eric Stokes. He's probably going to be a mid-second round guy. So if he's still sitting there for the Green Bay Packers, he would be another guy that I like. So they got some possibilities, but again, you're talking about guys that are going to need to learn a little bit as they kind of fall. Landon Dickerson is another one that Jack just tweeted me about. So what do you think about him in the second round? Landon Dickerson is expected to be a second round guy. The scouts grade him more second or late second, early third round type of talent. He runs a 5.3 40-yard dash, so pretty solid. But he's another one coming out. I'm not, look, he's a center out of Alabama. I like that guy, but I'm not. I'm not over a center, not a corner. I said a center. I'm sorry. I like the guy. If you're going to pick him up, he's pretty good. He can get to the second level. Big, strong kid, but that guy's 6'5", almost 6'6". He's a big, strong cat. And you're talking about a guy that can run a 5'3", and he's 300 he's like 350 pounds. That's a big dude, man. He's a road grader. I like road graders, but he's got to be quick enough as well to get to the second level. So anyway, I'm just kind of going through all my notes here real quick, and I haven't even pulled my draft notes out. So I apologize if I kind of mixed up a couple of things. But anyway, just wanted to get that out there. I got a couple other things here. This one's from Jacob. Jacob says, hey, Bill, I think the Bucs trade is good. It's going to give them somebody else from the corner to help Drew Holiday. Also, we've got a better defense now with two rim protectors in the middle and Giannis and Brook. And then we've got two guys that can play lockdown defense. Now you just got to get Dante DiVincenzo and Chris Middleton to play the same level of D. Good stuff. Like it. Like I said, I'm excited about creeping towards the end of the season. I still don't think, depending on what happens with Brooklyn, because Brooklyn has just been, they've only played how many games together? Like 20 total all together as a team. I mean, everybody's been banged up. Durant's banged up. They've just had injury after injury. But since Harden got there, they've been a team that went from, what was it, like tied for fourth or fifth or something like that in the NBA to now they're tied for first in the NBA in the Eastern Conference. So Harden has given them just a completely different dynamic, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all meshes together when that full complement of players are there. And because these guys are a little bit older, they're a little nicked up. But considering that Brooklyn is winning without them, there is no need to force them back on the floor so soon. Take your time. This is not about winning the East. This is about winning the East after the season is over. And thus, the reason the Bucs are looking for a little more defense and a little more toughness to be able to compete with these guys. Because as it stood, and I still don't think the Bucs are going to win the East, but as it stood at the time, I certainly didn't think the Bucs were going to win the East. But with Joel Embiid being down, and you've got injuries right now on Brooklyn, Bucks, maybe they can take advantage come the end of the season. We'll see. Maybe they'll take advantage. Stay tuned. More on the Bill Michaels Show is next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We're back. Couple of segments to go before we get out of here today on the Bill Michaels Show. We got play-in games coming up tonight. Controversy with Giannis sitting on the court. Bucks making a deal. Players being signed. And in case you didn't read the story over there on the Facebook fan page, you've got the question as to whether or not the Green Bay Packers are setting Aaron Rodgers up as, say, a lame duck quarterback for the season because they have not restructured his deal. And in addition to that, right now, at least as of right now, they have not gone out and really brought in a significant amount of free agents to this point, and to bolster that defense. So we'll see if eventually, I'm just holding out hope. Just holding out hope that they're going to get a deal done, and they're going to eventually extend Aaron Rodgers. By how much, we'll wait and see. But eventually it'll get done. This is from Adam. Adam writes, did you hear about any NCAA announcements regarding COVID? Are there any teams that are out? As a matter of fact, just a little while ago, about an hour and 20 minutes ago, the NCAA said it completed more than 9,100 COVID tests heading into the NCAA tournament with only 8 positives among Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 personnel. The tournament begins today with what they call the first 4. All but one team participating in the tournament has spent the week in Indianapolis. Defending champion Virginia, which had to withdraw from the ACC tournament because of the positive COVID test, set to arrive tomorrow afternoon. The Cavaliers must complete 2 rounds of testing and quarantine before they are cleared to practice on Saturday at the Indiana Convention Center. Virginia, the number 4 seed in the West region, set to face number 13 Ohio on Saturday night. That's in Bloomington. None of the 6 venues being used for the NCAA tournament will have the 25% fan capacity allowed by the NCAA. According to Dan Gavitt, the NCAA's senior vice president for basketball, Gavitt said yesterday that official capacities for each venue, Indiana's Assembly Hall, will only have 500 spectators, or 3%. Mackey Arena, 1,350, or 9%. Hinkle Fieldhouse, 1,250, 14%. And Bankers Life Fieldhouse will have 2,500 and 3,800. That's 13 to 19% capacity, depending on the ability to safely clean the arena between games. Lucas Oil Stadium, the site of the Final Four, will allow just under 7,000 fans for games at Equality Court, and then 8,500 fans for the games at Unity Court, which is 25% capacity. And when not practicing or playing, the teams are quarantined at their hotels where they eat at least 2 meals per day. But Gavitt said the teams have taken advantage of the late-night food delivery options, which the NCAA partners with. Wendy's brought a food truck and delivered more than 1,500 burgers and chicken sandwiches, and Buffalo Wild Wings served 61 teams during the past 3 days and served more than 1,900 wings on its busiest night. And Pizza Hut is also delivering pizzas there. That was 208 family-sized, pasta-sized dinners and 465 breadsticks. So that's who they have partnered with. So Wendy's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Pizza Hut are all part of this. And who am I missing? I think that's it. Yeah. Wendy's, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Pizza Hut. That's your choice. Not that I'm thinking a whole lot of guys eating real healthy. I think, though, they also have the 2 meals a day that are furnished by the NCAA, and those are the buffet style things where you can pick out what you want. They'll serve it to you on your plate, and then you take your plate and walk away. So that's what's going on. But only 8 positive tests out of all of the different tests that they conducted. So out of 9,100 people, only 8 positive tests in the NCAA tournament. Only 8. So there you go. This is from Rick. Said, I think the Forbes article about Rodgers being a lame duck quarterback is speculation. I don't expect the Packers will add more years to his contract, but if he balls out this upcoming season, I just don't see them moving on from Rodgers. Think about this though, Rick. If they don't restructure his deal, okay, if they don't restructure it at all, think about what they're doing to Aaron Rodgers. When you talk about a lame duck, don't you think that all of the discussion with Aaron Rodgers all season long is going to be like, is this your last trip to Chicago as a Packer? Is this your last trip to Minnesota as a Packer? Is this your last trip to Detroit as a Packer? Is this your last training camp as the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers? Is this your last pass thrown at Lambeau Field as a Packer? I mean, all of that. How have you looked at this year? I mean, then Matt LaFleur, how have you looked at this year, this last year of Aaron Rodgers as a Green Bay Packer quarterback? How have you gotten ready and begun to groom Jordan Love as the next Packers quarterback? I mean, that's what they have to face. That's what's going to be. Those questions are legitimate questions because all signs are pointing to that if you don't restructure that deal. If you don't do anything. Wouldn't you think? And then if we don't ask that question, then we're lame media. We're not doing our job, right? He is on contract through 2022. You are correct. But if they want to cut him loose next year, they can save a lot of money if they cut him loose because they would only owe him $17 million as opposed to 40. So they'll save $23 million. That's the point. That even if you owe him 17 next year, that's a lot less if you cut him loose. But that's what they have to ask. And those are legitimate questions. So in essence, yes, that story is 100% true. (877-867-1670). This is Raiders fan Bob who says, I can't believe you Packers fans are so willing to get rid of a Hall of Fame quarterback. We'll go ahead and take him off your hands anytime you want to trade him over to us. He would immediately make us a contender. Chris says, I hope they trade Aaron Rodgers to the Bears and he comes back and kicks your ass. Let's see Jordan Love go toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers. That was the same thing that Ted Thompson had to deal with. Because you weren't going to trade him within the division. So he had to go to the Jets for a year before he could come back and kick your ass. That's exactly what he did. Now, after that, the pendulum swung the opposite direction. The Mighty Penguin says, do they trade him away or do they just cut him? You would try to trade him. You would try to trade him away because you're going to owe him the money one way or the other. You would try to trade him away. You try to get something for him. But yeah, I mean, most teams would then know if you've got Aaron Rodgers on the trade block, you're going to cut him loose. Now, the team that would desperately want him would probably make a deal for draft choices unless they've got a ton of money to spend. And then when you cut him loose, they just make him an offer. But there would be you don't want to just cut him loose because as desperate as they are for a quarterback, remember, Andy Dalton's on a 1-year deal in Chicago. Andy Dalton's on a 1-year deal in Chicago, and the Bears will have almost $80 million to spend next year. the way it sits right now. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. I mean, the Jets are going to have a bunch of money, but the Jets are probably going to draft their future quarterback. If they go after the kid out of Ohio State, they're crazy. The Buccaneers will still have Tom Brady, but there's the Raiders. The Redskins picked up Fitzpatrick for a year. The Panthers are still looking. You know, the Ravens aren't going to be looking for a quarterback. The Broncos would be, but the Bears would be. Those are the top 10 teams with the most cap room going into next season, not this season, but next season. So that would be your fear if you just cut them loose, that the Bears are going to have a boatload of money to spend, and they're probably a top-notch quarterback away from really being relevant. Now that defense is going to continue to age, but you add a few pieces and put a decent offensive line around them, and you're probably a quarterback away from being relevant. Certainly, it would go from the Packers to the Bears as far as the top team to beat. But if I'm Zadarius Smith and I'm other guys restructuring my deal, I'm probably asking the question, is Rodgers going to be here or not? Because otherwise, I don't want to restructure. I may look at it as one more year with Rodgers. I have a shot at winning a title. So maybe I'll do this for one more year. But I don't know if I want to restructure my deal for 3 and 4 years down the road and remain with an organization that's going with a rebuild. You can call it what you want, but you're going with a rebuild. 877-867-1670. Final segment of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Wisconsin Sports Blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bills will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show. Final segment. We continue on. Hey, our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, Gina Della from Pella. She filled me in earlier. The NARI, National Association of the Remodeling Industry, named Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin the Distributor of the Year. We knew that, though, right? Those are just good people. I've been telling you about NARI. I've been telling you about Gina Della from Pella and Pella Windows and Doors for a long time. And high fives, by the way. High fives all around. And there's a whole lot more because they came up with an innovation called the Easy Slide Operator Window. Okay, the Easy Slide Operator Window. By the way, it was named the best new window and door product of 2021. How about that? Nice award for Pella. The Easy Slide Operator, yet another patented Pella innovation. Last year, they had the roll screen that went up between your windows, so you never had it hanging down and banging on your windows or anything like that. You just rolled it up in the window. It's gone. It's out of the way. You don't have to look through a screen or anything through the glass. But there's a lot more because when it comes to Pella, they keep being innovative. But the best part about it is they add all kinds of value. And I've said for a while, if you're looking to sell your home or you want to upgrade your home or maybe you're going to refi your home and you're looking for added value, it's a great way to do it. It really, really is. And the best part about it is right now through the end of the month, 5 years, no interest, 5 months, no first payment. How about that? Huge deal right there. High fives. That's why they say high fives. Because of the highest value, highest quality, and as far as improving your home and adding value to your home. Huge reasons to do it. And now you don't even have to dig into your pocket for 5 months and no interest for 5 years. You buy it right now through the end of the month, or you just get in on this deal and you're good to go. You can set up your free consultation today. Go to PellaWI.com/radio. That's PellaWI.com/radio. Again, PellaWI.com/radio. And you're good to go. Or if you just want to go to the website, that's the way to do it. Or go to Pella and call them. 855-PELLA-WI. PELLAWI. 855-PELLA-WI. So there you go. Our good friends from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hey, coming up tomorrow on the show, we got a good one tomorrow. We're going to talk some football. Eric Edholm of Pro Football Weekly and Yahoo Sports going to be joining us tomorrow. Our buddy Jim Ozarski. Covering the Bucks. We're going to talk a little bit about that Bucks trade. He's coming up tomorrow. Andrew Wagner is going to be joining us, the State Journal, talking Brewers baseball. So we've got NFL and Packers, Bucks and the trade, and Bucks getting back at it. We have got our buddy Andrew Wagner talking Brewers baseball. All the while tomorrow, we will then update you on the play-in games, the first four, if you will. And we will then update you as the games go on throughout the tournament as the show goes on. I cannot wait. Tomorrow's requirements for the show. If you can get your hand on some Girl Scout cookies, do it. Preferably Thin Mints. S'mores are good too. Okay? So those are the two things you try to grab. A little bit of milk or water, either way. And then at the end of the show, as we get ready for March Madness, really to kind of overtake our weekend. We got another challenge coming up tomorrow, so we're going to pop another top tomorrow afternoon and get ourselves straight as we head into the weekend. That is our day tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. Really, really, really looking forward to it tomorrow. Got a lot of good stuff coming up. Oh, I can't wait to tell you some of these things. Hey, by the way, speaking of good things coming up, and I make a mention of this, but in all seriousness, I kind of joke, but I do want you to do this. If you could, over on Facebook, there is a page over there. It's called Big Units Motorcycle Poker Run benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin. Would you follow it, please? It's called the Big Units Motorcycle Poker Run benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin. We are going to make some announcements over there as well as on these airwaves regarding our motorcycle ride coming up. If you can save the date, that would be great. It is coming up on Sunday, September 5th. Sunday, September 5th. Save the date. Sunday, September 5th. There are only 700. This is a charitable site, and there's only 750 people. I can post something about Aaron Rodgers and his new fiance, and I'll get 10,000 people to follow it. But when it comes to charity and our veterans families and those that are currently in the military, I get 750 people to follow it. So if you're out there and you find it in your heart to do so, and maybe you're a motorcycle rider or you know somebody who is, you want to stay up on this, could you please do this and follow us there? Again, just if you're on Facebook, the Big Units Motorcycle Poker Run benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin. I will post it on my Facebook fan page. I will post the link coming up here just momentarily. I'll post it over there on the Facebook fan page. If you can follow it and please like it, that would be great. I really would appreciate it. But we got some announcements that are coming. There is going to be a really cool event that is going to take place the weekend of Labor Day weekend in Milwaukee regarding the motorcycle rally. Harley Davidson always does this every year, and last year kind of got squashed because of COVID. But the Wisconsin Harley Davidson was just, the house was a rocket. I mean, it was awesome. That party was awesome. And we want to do it again this year, but we want to make it bigger and better. Obviously, we're safe in doing it, but there is nothing like getting out on the open road, socially distancing, and doing something great charitable-wise along the way. And I am completely humbled and honored and privileged to have my name on this, but we were voted one of the top 5 motorcycle rides in the state. And there's a lot of motorcycle groups out there that ride, and they get together and they kind of vote these for these motorcycle rides, which ones are done really, really well. And we were completely honored to be picked as one of the top 5. And it's been growing every year. And I love it with a passion. I love doing this with a passion. But if you could just go there to the Facebook page and like it, I would appreciate it. I'm going to post the link to it on my Facebook page coming up here momentarily. But if you could do that, I would be forever grateful. And then if we can get you to join us this year, if you're in the Madison area, I know there's a lot of people out in Madison that ride. Part of it is for those that live in the Madison area. We are going to build a new house. We've announced this, but we're building a new house in Madison, a new Fisher House, because they need it in Madison. We do a lot of work with the University Hospital out there, and they need one on the VA grounds. And so can you please, help join us? And if you need hotel rooms and such, and you want to get a great deal and you want to come into Milwaukee for the weekend, we would love, love, love to have you, or anywhere else for that matter. If you're coming from La Crosse, if you're coming from Viroqua, if you're coming from Menominee Marinette, wherever it is you are, we would love to have you. So I'll post this, and if you can follow the link and like it, I would be so grateful. Thank you so much. All right, tomorrow we're going to talk some Packers football, going to talk some NFL. Eric Edholm of Pro Football Weekly and Yahoo Sports going to be here. Jim Ozarski is going to join us tomorrow. We're going to talk some Bucks basketball in the trade. How much tougher and better did the Bucks get? And we're going to talk some Brewers baseball. Andrew Wagner of the State Journal is going to be joining us tomorrow as well. Until then, it is time for us to get out of here. To all of you that are out there either watching the program, listening to the program, thank you so much. As always, time for us to go. Have a go.